You back. There you go.
I think we're
That'll
back.
do it.
Okay, are we back?
We're loading.
Oh, we're loading.
What the fuck? Oh, there we go. We're coming in. There you are.
Okay,
Alright, here we
we're
go.
back.
That wasn't me. That was Vaughn that did that.
Yeah, Vaughn's been.
I'll get back. Start talking.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well, of course, you know
Yeah,
it's
I got a video.
it's 8:09.
It's not ready yet.
It's 8:09 Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It's
Good.
73 degrees and kind of it's partly cloudy. The sun's trying to peep out between the clouds. It's partly cloudy. 73 degrees in Macon with a high of 91 and a low of 73. So it's
there you go. Well,
It's-
yeah, it should be nice.
it's
I'm
quite
thinking
cool
of going
for-
out tonight. It's
Yeah.
First Friday. You want to do something? Go celebrate. You passed the test.
Well, I was thinking about going to check it out 42 over at the Luther.
That's what I'm
Men's
saying. You want to do that?
Yeah, I'll
Pick
go
up.
try yeah.
We'll pick something up and take it over there and watch the movie. I haven't seen it yet. I know it's gonna make me more emotional than Ariel Castro. Why? I could not believe this guy had the audacity to try to make himself out like a victim. Meanwhile, if you read some of the diaries that these girls wrote, that by some ironic reason he allowed them to have, yeah, all sorts of horror stories coming out of this guy.
Mm.
And yet he sits there and tries to make himself look like a victim.
Yeah.
Not even 1,000 years can wipe off the memory of how stupid he sounded yesterday.
Mhm.
Never mind what the girls went through.
Yeah.
And this guy was an idiot yesterday. We're going to show some video on some of this. As soon as Ed cues it up, he'll let us know. But you tell me what you think when you hear this stupid ass talking to the judge. And then he keeps interrupting the judge while the judge is going through these numbers. It's quite incredible. Kept hitting him with the charges. I mean, God, about 977 charges. And it took almost an hour for him to read them all. Even the judge was tired. Even the judge had to drink out of that mug like 6 times. Running out of breath.
No, you're right.
I'm not ready.
Yeah, exactly. How you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, well, Michelle said, yeah, I have, but I don't have news. He's very racist against non-racist female. Oh, well.
Oh, he was talking about somebody on
No,
online. Another show.
no. Well, who cares? That's why we don't allow him on here.
Well, he knows. Robert knows how to handle himself here, so.
He said occasionally they asked him for sex. I know. That was another thing that he said occasionally. Well, you know, you heard of Stockholm Syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Maybe these girls, you know, they felt
Mm-hmm.
maybe that was the only good. I mean, that's a horrible thing a point to be made, a horrible point to be made of how horrible they got. That they found maybe that that was the only time that they had any kind of pleasure. I hate to go there, but I mean, you think about it for a minute. If in fact they were, let's just say they were, we'll take him at his bullshit word, but which I don't think is true. But let's just say it was true. I mean, that's how bad of a mental state that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
Yeah, it could linger on for years.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you've been in a certain condition for several years, it can really last long. I mean, I would think to say that, you know, do you think in some kind of way people here are go through the Stockholm syndrome, at least in a socioeconomic point of view, like,
sure.
you know, like, I guess I'm not doing this well in grades. I'm I'm in this hellhole for several times. I'm going to end up. I mean, I'm going to end up this way. My kids may end up this way, and their kids. I mean.
Well, my mother went through it. I mean, look, my mother. I remember my mother used to get beat up by my dad, but yet she stayed with him 35 years. I mean, and most of the time she would say it was for the kids. I mean, they'll come up with any excuse just to not feel all that pressure.
Anybody got their volume on?
Yeah, I guess I do. Even though my volume on Vaughn is off.
Actually, I had mine on mute.
All right. Well, it's off now. Yeah. Wife beating is a worldwide syndrome. As a matter of fact, Razor Boy, Derek and I went to a premiere of a movie by Michelangelo
Called Imprisoned by Love.
Imprisoned by Love. And it was about that very issue. I mean, he would beat her up for, the bacon was cold.
Yeah.
I remember my father used to fight when my mother's rice was too greasy.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't greasy. It was just it had tomato sauce on it.
Yeah. I just thought that was just too... I just think it's just too much of an excuse just to swing at somebody. I mean, because they had a microwave oven in there, the bacon's too cold. Just warm it up. It just take 10 seconds.
Well, my mother said there was no microwave.
Okay. Well, yeah.
We didn't have microwave in the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But we couldn't afford it. But anyway, my mother, it would never be that the food was cold. It would always be that the food was greasy, or there wasn't any pork fat back in it, or some bullshit. It would always be something.
Ready for the video?
Okay, roll that beautiful footage.
Yeah, here's a video of Ariel Castro. Makes me sick.
Castro, is there anything that you would like to say with respect to sentencing or mitigation of penalty?
I would like to apologize. Would I do that now?
Yes, you may do that now.
Would I do that at the end of the day?
You can do it then too. This is one of your opportunities to speak. All right, thank you. Mr. Castro, my understanding from meeting with your counsel and counsel for the state is that a plea agreement has been reached in this matter. Are you fully aware of the terms and do you consent to that plea agreement?
I'm fully aware and I do consent to it.
You understand that by virtue of the plea, you will not be having a trial.
I'm aware of that.
In English, are you fluent?
English, I'm very good at spelling and I'm very good at reading, but I can't comprehend like I mentioned earlier. My addiction to pornography and my sexual problem has really taken a toll on my mind.
Law states that a prisoner serving a sentence of life imprisonment without parole under 2929.03 is not eligible for parole, will not receive parole, and will be in prison until death. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe for any reason that you'll be released from prison before you die of natural causes?
Excuse me?
Do you think there's any reason, any hope that you might be getting out of prison before you die?
I don't think there's any reason.
So finally, sir, again, you understand, Mr. Castro, that upon entering this plea, you will never be released from prison.
I do understand that, and I stated that to Dave, what's his last name? The agent, Dave at Sex Crimes, that I knew I was going to get pretty much the book thrown at me.
Prosecutors filed a sentencing memorandum Wednesday detailing how Ariel Castro kidnapped Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight, and the horrific physical, mental, and sexual abuse they endured daily. According to court documents, he let the three women keep a diary during captivity. They described the abuse and dreams of someday escaping and being reunited with family.
My addiction to pornography and my sexual problem has really taken a toll on my mind.
Castro also admitted to having the girls chained by their ankles with only one meal a day, showering infrequently, while he had sexually assaulted them. He also said he had other victims and that some of them made it home, but that others had not. In a plea deal that took the death penalty off the table, Castro pleaded guilty to more than 900 counts, including kidnapping, rape, and murder, for terminating Michelle Knight's multiple pregnancies.
I may have been through hell and back, but I am strong enough to walk through hell with a smile on my face.
Sources say Knight will likely make an impact statement in court, face-to-face with her captor for the first time since their dramatic rescue nearly 3 months ago.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry.
Sometimes the sentencing process is a form of catharsis for the victim of the crime.
Castro, too, will finally share his side. Prosecutors say he will apologize to his victims. Michelle Knight thanking the Cleveland Police Department with this handwritten note saying, "Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, she became a butterfly."
Good afternoon, ma'am.
My name is Michelle Knight, and I would like to tell you what 11 years was like for me. I miss my son every day. I wonder if I was ever going to see him again. He was only 2.5 years old when I was taken. I look inside my heart and I see my son. I cried every night. I was so alone. I worried about what would happen to me and the other girls every day. Days never got shorter. Days turned into nights. Nights turned into days. Years turned into eternity. I knew nobody cared about me. He told me that my family didn't care. He tormented me constantly, even on holidays. Christmas was the most traumatic day because I never got to spend it with my son. Nobody should ever have to go through what I went through, or anybody else, not even the worstest enemy. Gina was my teammate. She never let me fall, I never let her fall. She nursed me back to health when I was dying from his abuse. My friendship with her is the only thing that was good out of this situation. We said we will someday make it out alive, and we did. Ariel Castro, I remember all the times that you came home talking about what everybody else did wrong and act like you wasn't doing the same thing. You said, at least I didn't kill you. You took 11 years of my life away, and I have got it back. I spent 11 years in hell. Now your hell is just beginning. I will overcome all this that happened, but you will face hell for eternity. From this moment on, I will not let you define me or affect who I am. You will live, I will live on. You will die a little every day. As you think about the 11 years and atrocities you could inflict it on us. What does God think of you hypocritically going to church every Sunday? Coming home to torture us. The death penalty will be so much easier. You don't deserve that. You deserve to spend life in prison. I can forgive you, but I'll never forget. With the guidance of God, I will prevail and help others that suffered at the hands of others. Writing this statement gave me the strength to be a stronger woman and know that there's more good than evil. I know that there's a lot of people going through hard times, but we need to reach out a hand and hold them and let them know that they're being heard. After 11 years, I'm finally being heard, and it's liberating. Thank you all. I love you. God bless you.
Thank you, Ms. Stein.
Wow.
That's something else, boy. I'm telling you, she's a strong person.
Yeah, it took there's a lot of strength in that little body of.
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed that when she came and they brought her there, I didn't realize she was that short.
Mm-hmm.
But she was petite, and he beat up on her. It's terrible.
They need to hear her, okay? Because all they do is hear people talking about them, but when they actually see the victims and just picture what the fuck they went through for all that time. Number one, I think his pecker needs to be sliced and diced and glued to his fucking forehead.
Yeah.
Or at least be able to, or at least she should be able to use it as a speed bag whenever he wants to conjugal visit or something. Just like that.
Here's my position on this,
face,
and I'm serious. Give him the 100 years or whatever, 1,000 years. That's fine.
Years.
But I believe with that, it should have been some form of castration.
He won't be able to live. He won't be able to live to do 10% of it. 100 years.
Remove his scrotum. I mean, and he would be aerial castrate.
Yeah.
Remove his nuts, because the only pleasure that he gets, it seems to be, is constant masturbation that he did for hours on end. So if you remove that, I think that would be more hell for him than even giving him 1,000 years. Yeah. And we're sick people. Think about it. It's not about sensationalizing anything. Fact is, this is stuff that if we don't talk about, will become like a Nazi country where nobody talked about anything, and that's why so many people got killed. Got to keep talking about it. Just the way it is. Yeah. Anyway, if you don't like your pink nipples, then go dye your nipples blue. Show your anger.
Yeah, but like I had no idea that she was that petite, that short. I mean, she's 4 feet tall, man. Like I said, she makes Herb look like Shaquille O'Neal. Just tower over, like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? What? I can't hear you.
Well, how's this? You're about the same height as Ariel Castro. What do you think of that?
Well, that's not it. That's
keep
not something
talking
I
about
want to
news
talk
stories
about.
that happened yesterday and continue to lose some time to mind your own business and keep your Jewish goodbye. There you go. Thank you. There we go.
No tolerance.
More power to you, Morning Roast. Thank you for banning it. Who needs your self-righteous indignation on our show? We don't need it. Especially when you're a hater. Pink nipple.
Yes.
Give yourself a name like Pink Nipple and try to come across like a pontiff. Not even the Pope right now is doing that shit.
You're gonna hope to the Pope and pray.
The Pope is more humble.
Like Public Enemy.
Yeah, go away. Go pinch your nipples somewhere else. Don't do it here.
Speaking of some more courtroom mayhem.
Good morning, Ellen.
I got another
more mayhem.
Yes, there's a judge who has to serve 28 years after making $2 million for sending black children to jail. Here's an early morning wing dang dinger right there. Judge Mark A. Chavarella, age 36 years of age, serves as an example of why the private prison industry can do more harm than good. Chavarella has worked alongside owners of private juvenile facilities to ensure that the prison remain occupied. The more prisoners equated to more profits from the owners of the prison.
Wow.
Talking about making money, locking up people. How about that? As a result, Chavarella would sentence offenders with small offenses to months and at times years behind bars. He once sentenced a teen to 3 months in jail for creating a MySpace page that mocked the school's assistant principal. Chavarella also...
Well, he had a lot of time on his hands, didn't he?
Chervell also sentenced another team to 90 days in jail. 90 days in jail after a simple schoolyard fight. But after a federal investigation, it was discovered that Chervell and his colleague, Judge Michael Conahan, received more than $2.6 million from privately run youth centers owned by PA Child Care. In 2011, Chervell was convicted of racketeering and sentenced to 28 years in prison. He was also forced to pay $1 million in restitution.
This guy's a judge.
Yeah, he's a judge.
Well, that's what they do at the LEC.
Mm-hmm.
The longer they keep you there, they make $75 a day off of each prisoner. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they don't let you out till like 8 o'clock. They want to make sure you're there the whole day.
Yeah, they want you to have the last morsel of meal before you leave.
And you know, the
Now,
United
they
States has
bill
the
you for
largest
that.
incarceration because of all the drugs and shit. you
Sure.
know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, rescue.
But most of those inmates in the LEC, Ed, you have to admit, I mean, I'm sure you know that a lot of this shit is petty crime. I mean, little bags of marijuana.
They're
joints.
frivolous. They're very frivolous.
Yeah,
Hey,
really.
I was watching Cops
Mhm.
yesterday,
Yeah.
you know, from out in California, and it was wild because all these people growing medical marijuana, and the cops come in and they're looking at their plants, but they're not arresting them. You know, 'cause
They
time-
can't arrest
They
them.
can't. It's, yeah.
Mhm.
Especially in Northern California where it's legal.
And some of that weed looked good, man. The bag. Woo!
Yeah.
Some
Did
good
you
shit.
know any of the guys that were on Cops? Maybe you can call them up. Anyway, so yeah.
And speaking of which, to add on to it, once Chervell was convicted, the judge was convicted, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court tossed out 4,000 convictions that was issued by the judge.
He's no longer a judge.
Oh yeah, he's definitely disbarred. He
Oh,
definitely
thank
can't
God.
judge anymore after this.
Yeah, hit him with a crowbar.
Yeah, he's going to try. Of course, he's going to try to attempt to appeal the case before the U.S. Supreme Court. But
Let's see what the Supreme
luck on
Court
that.
does. But I don't think he's got a shot in hell. How many did they throw out? 4,000?
4,000 convictions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a lot. That by the time they get through with looking at each and every case and determining whether he made a right call or not, they'll say, screw this. Get out. We're done.
He'll no longer be able to practice
ain't got
law
no time
anymore,
for this shit.
Ever.
By the way, speaking of money and raising money
Mhm.
and doing all that, Mayor Rickett has a big lead, believe it or not,
Oh.
in fundraising spending.
He's killing this town.
yeah,
He's gonna
Mayor-
drive this fucking town into a hole.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Mayor Robert Rickett has raised and spent more money in his campaign for making Big Mayor than 4 of the other 5 candidates combined,
Wow.
according to campaign finance records. The records were filed with the state under a set of deadlines established before the election was delayed, moved, and finally rescheduled for September 17th coming up. The state now requires that only campaign finance records are filed by September 2nd, 2 weeks before the election. All candidates except Mayor C. Jack Ellis file reports in early July. Ellis told WXGA that he was aware that filing wasn't required until September 2nd, and all candidates are expected to file a full report at that time. Look at this amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
The records on file, the period ending July 30th, which doesn't mean that currently his numbers can go up. I mean, since they know that he's going to file by September 2nd, they may start giving him a lot of money, more money towards the end of this campaign. He spent $64,980 and still has $100,116 in the bank. He raised a total of $165,096. A distant second is Bibb County Chairman Sam Hart, who brought in $36,436 and spent $28,528, leaving him about $7,000, close to $8,000, $7,908 in the bank. Hart is followed by Charlie Bishop.
That goes third place. Yeah.
In third place with $14,141, and he spent $9,100, and it leaves a balance of about $4,900.
Yeah, but just shy of $5,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Allen, who raised, he's a commissioner, He raised $6,863, and he spent $6,359, leaving him a balance of $504. And our friend David Kuzno, a frequent candidate who most notably rode to the Board of Election headquarters on horseback, along with his qualifying fee, had contributions of $3,000, the same in expenditures, which represents the filing fee, which means he hasn't raised any money.
Mm-hmm.
Candidates can still raise money, may have already raised more money than what was reported at the end of June. And the nonpartisan election for mayor and the 9th District Commissioner spot for the newly formed bid-making consolidated government is scheduled and slated for September 17th. There you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Rickett could fund literally every person's campaign at about a good 25 G's each.
Mm.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, yes.
Where do you think that money's coming from, Derek?
I guess maybe a lot of supporters with big pockets, or, I mean, who knows, donations from corporations. It could be from individuals, it could be from organizations, it could be a plethora of people. It could be a lot of businesses, corporations. It could be even, I guess, people who are even out of town or even out of state who can contribute.
Yeah, and no doubt there's people from out of state contributing to Rickett's campaign. I mean, look, if I was at Robert Rickett's father's funeral, I was actually the last guy to shake his hand. And he was very grateful at the time. But his father was a big influence on making politics for many, many years. Mm-hmm. So, believe it or not, although Robert Rickett is mayor, his father actually had more impact on the community, even not being a mayor.
Right.
Because he was involved in so many things. I mean, he couldn't line his father's shoes, really, with what his father did. So I think a lot of those people that are sending him money is a lot of the people from that generation, old money.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, everybody knows this. It's given the knowledge that Robert Rickett is part of the Masons. His lineage goes back to those people that invented the Federal Reserve and all that shit.
Mm.
He's got money under his rear end. He wipes his butt with money.
Yeah.
And of course they'll all play like they're broke. That's bullshit. They got money, believe me. That's how they control it. And they have power and influence in the city. Yeah. Masons serve Satan. Exactly. It's a $3 word for Illuminati. Illuminati's $10. Mason's $3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lord of Light says 28 is not enough to be locked behind bars. You mean like 28 years? You mean the judge? The judge that we were talking about a few minutes ago? Before I guess I was just asking, or $28.
I don't know. Somebody's saying 20. Oh, Lord of Lycans, 28 is not enough to be locked behind bars all day. I'll tell that to some of the people in the past where they were locked up for the months for a candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the town that you're in, the city that you're in.
a year, $20,000 a year. Oh.
Anyway, so I don't know. What do you think, Derek, about all this money? That's that's the thing about running for elections.
Well, the thing is,
they say anybody could do it, but you need money. If not, then screw you. It doesn't matter how genius you are.
For the one things I probably do have to agree with Anthony on this. I mean, it shouldn't have to take that much money to run for something, to run for a political office. I mean, for that type of money, we could squash a whole lot of things going on. We could, for one thing, with that much 28,000, we should be able to have most public stores with most public buildings with Wi-Fi or something, or be able to repave just something as little small as repave the roads.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Mayor Ricken, if he loves his city so much, he's taking that money that he's got extra and giving it to charity. Let's see if he'll do that. He's got $100,000. Why not give it back? And not some bullshit charity that's going to kiss his ass all the way through. You know, like anything other than... I'm not even saying feed the homeless. I'm saying...
which would be a good gesture.
Yeah, give it to Ronald McDonald House.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to tell everybody what he did with the public service workers and the firemen's pension and retirement money. He still hasn't come clean on that.
Well, obviously, he's making too much money.
Yeah.
Run for mayor.
Like I said, repave the roads. Shoot, if not, or at least repaint the lines on the roads. You know, because you don't know whether or not you're on the wrong lane or not in some.
Good morning, Miss Bean.
Some roads. You know?
Yeah, Bean says it's a big write-off, and that's all. Yeah, maybe. But you know, isn't that contribution not so much of a write-off? He has to be able to pay something on that money. I mean, I'm not even sure how all this works. I know he has to go to a transparency committee and all that shit, and they charge you X amount of money. So I think he's still got some expenses to go ahead, but certainly not $100,000. He's going to stay with at least 75 of that. Where's it go? Yeah, Chuck.
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
Well, who knows? You all right?
Yes.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just wondering what's going to happen to Derek when he sits there and he's trying to make a bus and he starts to yawn next to his part.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I won't.
He'll just tase the suspect for a minute.
Yeah. What was that? Yeah. But speaking of a case right here, in front of the Macon Telegraph says a Macon mom accused of running over son indicted in Houston County.
Wow.
A Macon mother has been indicted on multiple charges after police say she ran over her 4-year-old son after allegedly shoplifting at the mall in Centerville.
What'd she do? She freaked out trying to run?
Well, the thing was, the woman, Arkebia Renarda Albury, she's 25, was indicted Tuesday, earlier this week, on charge of serious injury by vehicle, first-degree cruelty to children, second-degree cruelty to children, and failure to stop or return to the scene of an accident. Her son has been moved from the Medical Center of Central Georgia, her son Jaden, and been moved to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Scottish Rite, according to Centerville Police. Basically, police say that Albury was leaving the Belk at the Houston County Galleria Mall on May 23rd earlier this year when a loss prevention officer tried to stop her on suspicion of shoplifting. She basically ran, and while she was trying to flee, she ran over the boy while she was trying to flee the officer when she was driving off in her car. The indictment states the boy's liver was lacerated and the skull was fractured while she ran over
The
him.
kid died?
No, the kid is still alive. He went from he's getting more treatment from. He was moved from the medical center to from Central Georgia and Macon to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at Scottish Rite.
Which is right next door, no? Yeah.
Well, this is in Atlanta.
Children's Hospital. Oh,
Children's Hospital in Atlanta. So they had to go, but so he probably had to get him there by helicopter.
Probably.
Yeah, because they do have a helipad at the medical center. Albury is accused of ignoring a loss prevention officer's pleas to leave the boy where he was while waiting for emergency responders. The indictment alleges Albury caused cruel and excessive physical pain. Albury, who is being held at the Houston County Jail, was denied bond at a June 6 hearing. Her attorney, Larry Fauch of Macon, called the incident a tragic accident at the hearing. Fauch declined comment yesterday.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Mother runs over her kid during
shoplifting,
shoplifting, petty theft. I mean, we could look at this two ways. We could look at it one way where, the mother is a thief and bad mothering and all that, and you can look at this as someone who's really desperate. What was she shoplifting for? They don't say.
No, they don't say. They
They don't say
specify.
whether it was food or makeup or
No,
hair
Belk's is not
or hair
food.
product.
Belk's is not food.
Just
Yeah.
a store. Yeah, Belk's. Yeah, Belk's.
Probably
is a,
clothes, maybe clothes for the kid.
Jordan Marsh.
Well, I'd like to follow up with that story, hear a little bit more about what the mother's intentions were.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, but it gives us a better grip on what really happened here. Why this mother decided to go shoplifting, leaving her 4-year-old. The 4-year-old was unattended, or he was with her, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think he was with her, and I guess he tried to keep up with her, and
Trying to jump in the car and he couldn't.
Yeah, right.
Poor baby. All right, well, it's very sad. Very sad. And, speaking of juveniles, you got juveniles being helped by adults now getting a car. And that just happened. Men charged with stealing a car for a juvenile. And 2 men and a juvenile were arrested by Macon police Tuesday in connection with the theft of a car. Macon police say the men stole the car and gave it to the juvenile. Police responded to the call of a suspicious vehicle in the 1100 block of Joe Davis Street, where they discovered the car had been stolen. 2 men and a juvenile were inside the car. Jerry Ross, 20, and Harold Johnson, 17, were taken to Bibb County Law Enforcement Center, or the LEC, and held on charge of theft by taking auto. Ross had also a Superior Court probation violation. This is Johnson's first arrest in Bibb County, and Jerry Ross's 11th act, dating back to 2009. The juvenile was transported to the Juvenile Detention Center and charged with theft by receiving. Additionally, stolen property was recovered from the vehicle. So you now have adults conspiring to get a car. Of course, they said they got it for the little kid, but who knows what the truth is to that.
Mm-hmm.
They're driving a car. They blame it on the kid. Oh, I stole it for him. That's what it looked like. Unbelievable. Let me see what the chatters are saying. Let me see. Speaking of juveniles, what's Anthony doing today? Huh? That's funny.
What he's doing today?
Yeah, who the hell knows? Picking up pennies.
Picking up, yeah.
And by the way, they didn't mention him in the story. Reason being is because in this town it happens quite often.
Yeah.
They will not mention you because the press doesn't feel that you deserve any accolades for anything that you're doing. Only those with money.
Whoo, boy.
And those that are rebel rousers.
Crazy look.
Terrible. Good morning, Saibuki.
Woo.
Yeah, Aaron Burnett. Or Anton Burnett. There's Anton Burnett.
Mr. Mom.
That's what he's doing right now. Ironing his clothes. Anyway, so, and the reason why they won't mention him is because, Anthony is not so-called in the whole clique. They do respond to him if he calls the press. They will come.
Yes.
They definitely will show up. But they won't mention him in stories or anything to that effect. They may mention him if they want to elongate the story and embellish more on it. His name may show up. Actually, I'm surprised they even mentioned Kuzna.
Yeah.
Because Kuzna wasn't even mentioned for a lot of the races. Yeah.
He paid $3,000 to get his name on the ballot. Your name's on the ballot, they'll talk to you or talk about you. Otherwise, you got to make your own news.
Exactly.
Well, he's going to be on the ballot as a write-in. Anthony is going to be on the ballot.
Oh. Gotta warn people next time.
Yeah, this is crazy, Ed. Person looks like they got a zipper on their belly. The hell is that?
I guess it's kind of like a C-section.
Yeah, you're right, Saibuki. Anybody that votes for Ann is a freaking fool. Anarchist in office? Yeah, right. That's going to work. Well, I somewhat agree with you, but in this city, an anarchist would be better than these so-called religious Christians that they have over here. Because everybody likes to spew out the word of God every moment. but meanwhile they act more devilish. They could care less. Everything that the Bible said they shouldn't do, they do. Like, look at you with haughty eyes. That's a bad, arrogant posture to be in. That's how they look at you around here.
The B.
Yeah.
C-section that went through the whole alphabet. A through Z section.
And they, Cal, are you out of here? Looks like, oh no. He's saying, have a blessed day. Are you leaving already?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, you have a blessed day too, brother.
Wow.
And, no, I'm serious. Yeah, that's what they say. Oh, bless his heart. Oh, bless his heart. Bless my ass. You people aren't saying bless my heart. You guys are just saying what an idiot or some other shit. What does bless your heart mean? Derek?
It usually means kiss my ass.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that unfreaking believable how religious people even do it? I mean, they interpret what they mean into something else. They make it something else.
Yeah. They
hide behind a cloak.
See, I didn't know about it until like later in life, like till I got into like my teens and 20s. Because my grandmother's friends used to say that all the time for some strange reason. I didn't realize it, but now I know why.
Wait a minute, the Lord of Lycans, he's making some sense over here. I like what he's saying over here. He's saying something to the effect that we even need him. What the hell did he say? Weird people run for office and win on local level frequently. Shit. This thing is moving around. And makes you wonder if we... Stop typing a second, folks. If we even need them. Yeah, we need them. We need them for entertainment.
Yeah.
It's like watching Big Brother. Have you ever see that show?
Yeah.
I tried to watch it. All those kids on there, they're all... What a bunch of rotten scoundrels they are. What kind of parents do they have?
I know, man. They make. I don't know. They kind of make.
Kind of weird.
They kind of make a freaking. They kind of make doggone Real World on MTV look like a doggone Masterpiece Theater. Speaking of which, like I said, yesterday was the 32nd anniversary of the beginning of MTV.
Yeah.
The telecable show that started out made the popularity of music videos. It's kind of weird that MTV, which usually meant music television, doesn't have anything to do with music. I mean, it's just pretty much all reality shows. I mean, reality shows now. I mean, you actually have to get MTV2 if you're able to afford digital cable or satellite in order to actually watch videos on an MTV channel. But on the original MTV, you can't. You just gonna be watching shows like, if you're like 16 and Pregnant and Teen Mom and Real World and just a whole
even the names
Jersey
make
Shore,
me sick. Here's the thing. What's real about real television? When most people know the camera's on them, and I don't care who you are, you're going to play to that camera. I don't give a shit how much you say, I don't want to be... you're going to play to that camera. It's not natural. Let them go hide it somewhere like they did that crackhead up in Toronto, Canada, where they caught him red-handed. Mm-hmm. That mayor. You saw how he acted in real life. He wasn't playing up to any camera he didn't know. I mean, that's where it's reality television. Even Cops, I think, is staged somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of it is reality. Reality bullshit. Good morning, Plastic Canvas. Yeah. Reality shows are worthless, right, Tubi Dude? Coming from you, I'll take your word for it.
I like what Sabugi said. It says, bless you, you special little person. Does it get any more condescending? Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Sabugi, you're scratching the surface, man. You really... It can get really nasty. It can get really nasty.
Yeah, it could.
Matter of fact, I was just reading what he said to my aunt. If Aunt becomes married to my aunt, will pass stupid laws like everyone should wear pink on Fridays and skirts for guys on Sundays.
Yeah, probably. You know what? I swear to God, I totally agree with you. He probably would do something like that. Like he would ban wearing pink on Cherry Blossom. I want to see another color. I'm tired of pink. No, I don't think so.
I gotta be honest with you. DC's got a better chance of getting it than Ant does. DC's been at it for 20 years now.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. DC's been at it for a long time, but nobody takes him serious. And you could tell by the interviews that they gave him, where they gave him an interview, folks. This guy named, I'm not going to give him props, but this guy named Herbert Denard, who's on local television.
Yes.
And
he has a newspaper called the Georgia Inquirer.
Yeah, the Georgia Inquirer. Herbert Denard, his nephew, is that movie critic and kind of funny. I like his nephew.
Matter of fact, I was on his show at least for 1 or 2 episodes where my friend and co-worker at the time, Chris Glover, we were like substitute movie critics. I think we did a really good job at it.
Well, maybe you ought to ask him for the job back. I mean, actually, those 2 movie critics, they're funny. I mean, one is kind of lanky, tall, glasses, older gentleman. And then his nephew or his son, I'm not sure what he is. He's got the Denard name, Jr. He gives like kind of a very southern way of being a critic. Yeah, you have to see the one that he rails on Superman. It's funny. But I think he says Superman like 100 times.
You know what's really funny though, speaking of MTV and cable TV, like MTV was known for music videos. Now you got, Teen Mom and Jersey Shore, and the Learning Channel, TLC is the Learning Channel, it was an educational network where you actually learn stuff, and now that's also the place where you watch Honey Boo Boo. What's the learning part in that?
How not to raise a child.
I guess that's true, yeah.
I think she's going to be diabetic, to be honest with you. They look cute when they're young like that, but
yeah, but it ain't
they
cute
go out with all these health issues.
Yeah, it ain't cute when you're 25 and 250, and you're not playing for the NFL.
I don't know.
That's gonna affect your health. I don't care what.
Rudy Ford says, I watched Jersey Shore once and then my IQ dropped 20 points. Actually, if you see the movie, I think it's The Three Stooges, the new version. It's funny as hell what Mo does to those people. It's like everything you want to do to them, slap them around. It's funny as hell. You have to see it. Let me see. Steven Seagal is Chuck Norris. Yeah, about 300 pounds heavier.
Yeah, 300 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Three Stooges. I'm a big Three Stooges fan since I'm a kid. Besides Mo, looks like my dad. Swear to God, the same expression, same face as my dad. So I love Benny Hill too. Good morning, Power Radio. And anyway, so we got some other news. By the way, the medical center is up in there. It's time for me to go back and spend another 8 days there. No, really. But they're changing their food, their menu.
Really?
Actually, yeah. And one thing I have to say about the medical center is they know how to feed you. It's probably the best hospital food you'll ever taste. And now they're ramping up the menu, more healthy stuff. And they actually dropped my sodium. I don't like salt that much on my food anyway, but they gave me no salt, and the food actually tastes better. You actually taste,
According to the story, it says it cut down sodium by 44%.
44%.
And 33% less calories, according to the story.
But it's the same food. It's just the way they cook it.
Just better preparation, I guess.
Yeah, and the food director of nutrition, Adrian Claremont, says the increase in whole grains, wheats, and pasta will provide healthier options without compromising taste. By providing this food that tastes good and that looks good and doesn't have the stigma of healthy in it, but yet it's healthy, that people will become accustomed to it and accept it more. The nutrition staff at the medical center serves about 300,000 patients a year. And the new menu will impact up to 1 million meals over the next 5 years. Claremont says they expect other hospitals throughout the county to adopt a new menu in the future. So we have a new menu coming to our medical center, which one of our friends right here on the Morning Roast works at. And
yes, Mr. Photo Guy.
Yeah, Diaz Photo Guy. There you go. Good man. And I'm sure that he won't get any of it unless he's in there like I will. Won't get to touch.
I was just reading what Sabuga was saying, like Monsanto owns the states. Your food is fucked.
All GMO food is death. You need organic. Organic is good, but remember, organic, gets spoiled right away. So unless you eat it quick, organic food is, to me, most food they say it's organic is probably not. I mean, that was already exposed.
Right.
That a lot of these companies call it organic so they can charge more, but in fact, isn't really organic.
Yeah, kind of like diets, like diet sodas and stuff. Even though it has less calories, supposedly less calories, but they add more sugar in it, which just for it to be somewhat, consumable or at least enjoyable for people to actually drink it.
Well, that's true. Us man, well, good morning. He says, or US man, best food is grow your own. Yeah,
that's true. That's very true. My mother grows her own tomatoes, so
Yeah, the farmers market is organic. We do have a farmers market. Actually, that's the thing. To making Georgia is really. I have to give them kudos to that. They're helping the local farmers by providing the opportunity for them to sell some of their food. Now, it's a little bit more expensive, but it actually does taste better if it's, kind of like homemade breads and all that. All that stuff is really good. When you buy a lot of this bread in a supermarket, whatever. But when you buy this organic bread, I mean, it goes bad right away. You have to kind of consume it right away. It has no preservative. The shit goes bad on you like in 2 days. And in this humidity and making Georgia, you got a lot of spores around. Just all of a sudden, you put your bread in a bin, and the next day they grow some hair, like an old lady. It's got like fuzzy hair on. Yeah, gray hair. Yeah. So, and by the way, I'm allergic to penicillin. So, for those of you who say use it for penicillin, it would be like poisoning myself. Yeah. Once the bread gets moldy, it has to go.
That's true.
Some people toast it though.
Speaking of mold, there was one school that had to be pretty much delayed opening up this upcoming week for next week and stuff because they had excessive mold due to all the excessive rain.
Yeah, we had that problem. Why don't you read that story? You got that story? I actually saw that. We have a mold problem here in the mid. The
mid-state,
whatever.
In
the south.
The whole East Coast.
Yeah. The whole East Coast is moldy.
Yes.
All the rain and all the moisture.
Yeah.
Yes,
a little too much on the house.
We had this is just an update. Actually, Baldwin County School Superintendent Geneva Brazil says that despite the rain, the 2013 school year is off to a great start. The school system had hosted open houses at all schools in the county earlier this week. The thing is, with the school year fast approaching, which actually is opening up, the schools are going to be opening up this Monday after this weekend. Says there had been some problems with air quality, and after cleaning, they had an air quality test performed on all the rooms at the schools, particularly at Baldwin High School and Oakland Hill Middle School, because there was a lot. The Board of Education, they happened to notice some mold growing at those particular schools. They come into schools. Brazil says that one room continues to be treated and will not be used until it's declared safe. As part of the normal preparation for the school year, Brazil said her staff are performing walkthroughs on all school properties to make sure buildings are ready and safe for students. Of course, the buildings were not safe for children as they went in, but she says she's been in every single room, and I wouldn't put myself or my child in danger, so I definitely would put anybody else's. With the exception of those two schools, Baldwin High and Oak Hill Middle School, Baldwin County students began school about 2 hours ago this morning. So it'll be, I guess, another 2 weeks for the other two schools be able to be safe to open up.
Yeah. Well, they develop respiratory problems. Next thing you know, they get meningitis, all that other shit that goes around right now.
Or bronchitis.
Yeah,
or
bronchitis, all sorts of crap. Yeah. Which, by the way, forms scarring on your lung tissue, which can later lead to like PCP and all that other crap. So
to my CBC.
Oh my God,
CPD.
are you there already?
CPD, not PCP. That's Angel Dust.
Yeah, ATT says mold is bad, especially black mold, and yeah.
Well, it's 9:04 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. It's 73 degrees. Partly cloudy and Macon with a high of 91 and low of 73.
I'm sorry, Lord of Likers, you're funny as hell.
Okay.
He says, okay, I got good mold. Mine is white.
Wow. What time is 42 thing tonight?
What?
42.
Oh, 42 is what time? 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it's 8 o'clock at
8
Luther
o'clock.
Williams Field. So if anyone who's in the Middle Georgia area want to check out 42 in the place where they were filming it, come on down to Luther Williams Field. That's near Central City. That's inside Central City Park in Macon, downtown Macon, not too far from where we are, and check it out.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it'll be fun. It's like the old days, drive-in movies.
Definitely.
All right. Y'all try not to laugh at this one.
Okay.
All right, here we go,
Watch
folks.
more
Don't
movies.
go anywhere. We'll be
right back.
Watch the video.
Try not to laugh.
Snow. She is so photogenic. I'm very happy she's doing this.
No, that's not Miley Cyrus in an even more realistic-looking furry suit. These are actual twerking bears. I'm Jen Markham on Buzz 60. A park ranger in Alberta, Canada, pointed a remote wildlife camera at a tree bears use to mark their scent. Biologists call such a tree a communications or rub tree, but it seems like it could also be called the getting down tree. These bears look like they're having a full-on funky dance party, popping and locking, bumping and grinding, throwing their hands in the air. They even appear to be doing some break dancing. Hey, is that bear in front doing the worm? There's varying theories on why the bears rub the tree. Some think the bears sharing scents on the tree prevents aggression between them. Others think it's the female's way of indicating she's in heat. Either way, just one whiff of it, and other animals know they may want to head for a different dance club. Buzz 60. Now you know, pass it on.
I complied with the order, and they opened fire on me, and they didn't stop and guess until they ran out of ammunition. I felt like I was in front of a firing squad.
The sound of gunfire, a disturbing wake-up call in the wee hours of the morning. An unarmed man getting out of his own car, shot by police.
There's one right here. See the big slug right here?
Ceola Walker says her 6-year-old son, Roy Middleton, was hit twice as bullets flew while he stood in his Pensacola, Florida driveway. Mistaken as a burglary suspect, sheriff's deputies opened fire. The sheriff's office says at least 15 times. He's now in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
He's going to be okay, and God just saved him. God just shielded him. I know he did, because they were trying to kill him, the way they were shooting. And it was all for nothing.
Around 2:30 in the morning, Middleton says he had just come home. He says he was just looking for a cigarette in his car.
See, he was in the car like this, and he said that when they told him that, he thought it was our neighbor next door playing with him, because they usually do that. But he said when they shine the light, he said he went to put up his hand and turn around, and that's when the bullet started.
Escambia County deputies tell a different story. Responding to a 911 call from a neighbor, they spotted Middleton in the car. It was dark, and they say Middleton refused to obey their commands. Then they say he lunged at them with a shiny object. Sheriff David Morgan has turned the investigation over to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
What we see as the tragedy of this is, again, the noncompliance in the direction of law enforcement officers. Had that occurred, we wouldn't be having this discussion. So it's a tragedy all the way around, and he is both a suspect and a victim.
How can you be a suspect and a victim at your own house? In your own yard, in your own car? I don't understand that.
She says her son is on pain medication for a bad back. What role that played, if any, will now be determined by state investigators. The deputies are on paid administrative leave.
The message that...
Wow.
Shiny object. Yeah, like a car key. I don't know. This is just getting out of hand, don't you think? Oh.
This has no sound.
I'm sorry.
Watch what God does. This is the other angle. Stupid idiot. What was he trying to do? We got 3 cops there?
Oh no, man.
Well, here we go.
Obviously, he hasn't watched a lot of professional wrestling. You know, it's a 3-on-1. Especially, I've seen wrestlers go against the Shield and the 4 Horsemen back in the '80s and stuff. I mean, if it's 3 against 1, you're going to need backup. So it's just crazy.
We're back. It's back.
It's 9:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. 73 degrees.
Second hour
of the morning roast with Irv, Ed, and yours truly, DB here. That was some crazy stuff's going on. Particularly, there's one guy who was shot in his driveway, mistaken for, as a burglar. In
his own house.
By
the way, they're never gonna fix up that car. So whatever retribution he gets, if he gets any, which I doubt.
Oh, he's gonna get something.
That GBI report is gonna come back. Please, they're gonna justify everything the police does and all that bullshit.
But the difference is he lived.
Well,
so he's definitely gonna get a lawsuit. So
we'll see.
I smell,
But I want to say hello to everybody. Let's say good morning to Saibuki, DS Photo Guy here forever, Michelle Stacy, Ellen Macon, Plastic Canvas, ATT, Bill Gay 69, welcome, Island Patriots, Ireland's Patriot. I haven't seen you in a while. If is this real? Leonidas, welcome. Lord of Likens, as always. Mackinac is back. Manny is always here. Nature is here as well. Nical 3000, of course. Opiate for Life. Haven't seen you in a bit. Pastrada, Rocco, of course. Behave, Rocco. We're keeping an eye on you. Scotty Boy 74. Sergio St. John. The world famous. Too Much. Tubi Dude. Unix. Usman. Volpabite 2. Zappa 1. Cocknose. Martin 3. She Pissed. Welcome.
She's pissed.
Rudy 4 and Uncle from Hell. We have the greatest chatters with the wildest names. Welcome all. Welcome to our zoo, our morning zoo.
Yes, and thank you very much for helping us hit over 24,000 views. Hopefully we'll be able to hit 25,000 next week. It's going to be a really good month for. I can feel it. It's going to be a really good month for.
We're at 24,060 views. That means we've had people look in to our show 24,060 times. Currently, we have over 50 viewers, which includes all of you chatters. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have you all on. I did say, in fact, that we're going to keep moving the show to make it pretty well known. We hope.
Yeah.
We hope. Who knows? Listen, if shows like Jersey Shore and kissing up the Kardashians, whatever,
kissing up
to them or kissing their asses, they all got big asses. Don't you notice that?
Yeah, no.
Except the mother.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm just.
No. You know.
They just have to be a little bit too
tell that
promiscuous.
to the toilet bowl. They have to sit their fat asses on that thing every day.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, well, we hope to be somewhat noticed.
Mm-hmm.
If we haven't been already. Actually, we're talking about plans of moving the show downtown back. And hopefully we'll get a spot. We'll have an actual studio where you can walk in as a guest right off the street. And hopefully we'll be able to do that very soon. I'll be teaming up with a local producer, television producer, and he's all gangbusters about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try to get a nice studio downtown, and we'll use that studio during our off hours to rent out to other would-be, wannabe radio television hosts.
Right.
So hopefully that'll be on the agenda. Anyway.
Yes.
Let me see. What else is in the news, Derek? What else?
Yeah, there's some really crazy stuff for those who like to check their time acting a fool, trying to get yourselves banned or muted. Here's something you might hear. Something a student organizes white student union at Georgia State University.
Yeah, brother.
Yes, a new student club at Georgia State University is attracting more attention than most student clubs do. Just the club's name is stirring up controversy. The first-year student at Georgia State who organized the club is calling it the White Student Union.
Da da da.
Yes. The organizer, Patrick Sharp, insisted that no one should have any cause of worry or concern. Sharp said he has heard objections from students at the club's name, and he understands why some are objecting. But he's hoping no one will prejudge him or his club. I decided to organize a white student union, he said simply. He started posting flyers this past summer on the downtown Atlanta campus of Georgia State University. Sharp said when he started his first year during his summer term, he noticed there were many other student clubs devoted to various racial and ethnic interests. So he started the White Student Union. He said 5 or 6 students have joined so far. He says, I sort of took it upon myself, kind of with inspiration from Matthew Heimbach's group in Maryland at Townsend University, which is also called the White Student Union, to form a similar club at GSU.
Okay. Okay. Now, first of all, let's ask the question properly, ATT, before we go there. He said, what's wrong with that, Derek? There are Latino student unions, black unions. Why does that offend you? Does it offend you?
I didn't even say it offended. I'm just telling the story.
Okay.
First of all.
That's why I wanted to ask you the question.
Okay.
That's why I addressed AT&T himself.
Yes. According to Sharp, he says, this is some closet or curtain white supremacy. It's pretty, and I'll go ahead and turn their words around him. It's pretty ignorant and closed-minded, Sharp said. It's a pride organization. It's a cultural organization. What we have is not hate for any other group. Whites are becoming a minority. We have a voice. We're unique people, and we have every right to make that voice heard. The new club has stirred up controversy not only among students at Georgia State, but also among students at other colleges and universities. Amanda Miller just graduated from Agnes Scott College in Decatur and was at GSU Wednesday night waiting for a friend who was taking a final exam. And she says, and Ms. Miller, who is white, said, I think having a white student association is kind of ridiculous. I mean, on one level, I understand wanting to connect with your heritage, and she might be interested in participating in others who share her family's background, which is Irish or Norwegian. But she says, I don't feel the need to join a white student association. I'm happy to connect with my personal cultural roots, but a white student association sounds a little, I don't know, I could see how it could go wrong. GSU student, senior student, Stephanie Joy Roden, African American, says, it's just the name, I think, really, to be honest, that raises concerns for many. That might make you go to that place in your head where, like, whoa, wait a minute, what's that all about? But she's keeping an open mind about the club. She says also, she adds that hopefully they have good intentions, And if so, no one should interfere with them to do their thing. I mean, if they want to make a group, who's to say that they can't in today's society? Dr. Covey, Dr. Douglas Covey, who's the Vice President for Students Affairs at GSU, says that students are expressing concern about the intended purpose of this organization.
Mm-hmm.
And it says the GS student body is diverse, 38% white, 35% black, 12% Asian, and 7% Latino. That's according to the ethnic makeup.
Yeah.
Dr. Covey says if Sharp wants the club to be a formal recognized GS students organization, he can go through the same application process that the current 300 or so student clubs underwent, the official ones.
Okay, well, once again, look, folks, you know, one of the things that I have never wanted us not to do is not talk about race. What I'm talking about that I don't want us to do is to interpret that as and make it an excuse for you to start either cyberbully, racial hate, speech, and that kind of stuff. If you want to argue race issues, we could do that. We, of course, this country is racist. It's all around us. But it's the way that you present your case that we look to make sure that you're not race baiting or race hating or that kind of level. But we're talking about a racial issue here. It's obvious that these young college students are forming an all-whites group to perpetuate a very one-sided view. And while they're looking for ways of people to do, other groups are really looking for what not to do.
Yeah.
What you should not do. And so, again, it's a different teaching coming out of these groups. So some of these groups are just there to offer resources that maybe people don't know about, and not trying to push the idea, well, I'm a black guy, and so you got to give me welfare. Or, you know, the way they like to perpetuate that hate right away, thinking that the only people on welfare are black people.
Yeah.
When in fact, that's not the case. That's not reality.
Yeah, I mean,
and so it's that kind of talk that infuriates and is race baiting. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about race, but we're going to talk about race in a civil manner, of which this country hasn't still gotten a grip of it. You know, it's funny how that is an issue that even on the news, you'll see it on CNN, you'll see it everywhere. People get into these horrible arguments over this issue. They don't know how to control the way that they talk about race. I mean, I see it on Dr. Drew. I was watching, there's this woman with a helmet on. She's like making
Hair
these
helmet?
Yeah, she's making these outrageous, outlandish remarks. And then you got Zimmerman's friend, that pinheaded guy that made a name for himself, making all these ludicrous, ridiculous remarks. And right here on our show, we have people that like to take hostage our conversation via chatter.
Yeah, Unix
want to make their own show on our show.
Unix does have a good point. So why can't we just be people instead of whites, blacks, Latinos, or Asians?
Yeah.
Well, just same reason why crayons can't be crayons.
Be specific, Rocco.
They just, you know.
Okay, let me
blue,
put it
yellow,
to you this
green,
way.
Purple.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Some of the shit that comes out of your mouth is so ridiculous that it makes everybody in an uproar, and you come on the show and you ask me questions and you try to be the center of the freaking attention. Rocco, you're like a big fucking boulder in the middle of a lake. The water can't help but hit you every time. You got to make a statement. You could start your own show. Don't do it on my back. Don't interrupt every. Yeah, it's an insult. It is an insult. I'm insulting. So what? You insult everybody else on this show. Come on the show and start babbling on, and you have to make a statement every 3 seconds. You're a narcissist on somebody else's show, mind you. You want to accuse me of being a narcissist? At least I'm paying for it. Yeah, I'm dishing out the dough to get on TV. What the hell do you do? You're stealing everybody from my show, like some other people do. Try to make a name for yourself on my show by making comments every 3rd second.
Yes. Well, speaking of trying to take someone's name or identity, so to speak, here's some brand new breaking news. 16 UJ students indicted in fake ID production. This is from in Athens, Georgia, at UGA, my old alma mater. This is given from Kenny B from WMAZ. A Clark County grand jury has indicted 16 University of Georgia students and 4 others who are accused of producing and distributing fake IDs. The ring was led by 2 roommates who provided door-to-door services. Officials say they used couriers to take customers' photos in their dorm rooms, collected personal information for the IDs, and delivered the products for between $50 and $100. Wow. Authorities say the investigation began in August 2011 and involved the University of Georgia Police Department and the Western Judicial Circuit District Attorney's Office. Officials say the investigation had spanned Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Michigan, and more than 400 fake driver's licenses were confiscated. UGA Police Chief Jimmy Williamson says the students may have distributed more than 2,000 total fake IDs. Over 2,000.
Wow, that's more than about half of this population in this area alone.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
2,000 IDs. How do you remember your
$50
name?
a piece. Yeah. At least $50 to $100 a piece.
Wow.
That's
a lot of money. Maybe.
Whole lot of money.
I don't know. Let me see, Nicole, if I can't even make a tiny little joke to get a laugh and lighten up the mood and the occasion without Michelle Stacy shutting me off. What's the point of coming here? Honestly, Mitch, where was the racism in my little comment? Where was the hate? You're on a power trip here, aren't you? And then Rocco said, Norm, be careful. Listen, you know what? She's been given the parameters. Everybody knows what the parameters are. We don't have to go back and forth with this. Okay? It's hate speech. It's racist hate speech. If it's not on that level, keep going. It's all right. Not going to have to baby you guys to do this.
All right, on with the show.
Anyway, what else is there?
I just okay, jeez. I got another wing dang doodle right here.
All right, go ahead.
Grandmother admits to dismembering Michigan teen who had vanished 15 years ago.
Wow. She wasn't a grandmother then, was she?
Maybe. Detectives says a 73-year-old Flint, Michigan woman admits beating her teenage granddaughter to death with a hammer, then dismembering and scattering her remains 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Genesee County Prosecutor David Leeton has charged Lois Janis with an open count of murder in the death of 14-year-old Coral Hall. The girl disappeared in 1998 and her body has never been found. Janis was arraigned yesterday in Flint District Court, and Judge Nathaniel Perry III ordered her jailed without bond. Leeton's spokesman John Pottenberry says the teen went missing after calling a friend asking for a place to stay and saying she'd been fighting with her grandmother. MLive.com reports that Sergeant Greg Hosmer says Janice apologized for dumping her granddaughter's body. She says she and her now dead boyfriend dismembered her. Wow. That doesn't. I wonder if she killed her boyfriend. Oh no! I'm
I
just
can't
saying.
believe she would even have one. Did you see that woman's face? Look at her.
Ugh.
Awful.
I know. Well, hey, even ugly.
She's like a map.
Yeah, even
all these roads on her face.
I mean, even ugly people have got need love too. I mean, look at Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
I mean,
she was hot at 19. Nick said.
Yeah, she was hot at night. Yeah, during the Great Depression.
Unbelievable. Anyway, well, let's look for something else. on the news here.
Yeah, I got something here. Some victims are needed to train Marines in Perry.
There we go. Let's do it.
Says the Guardian Center in Perry is looking for a group of volunteers to serve as victims during the weekend training session for a group of U.S. Marines on August 17th to 19th. The volunteers will serve as victims of a nuclear bomb blast that the Marines will be assigned to find and rescue. The center needs people between the ages of 18 and 70 years old who can give about 12 hours of time to the drill. Volunteers will be provided with food and a place to nap. Volunteers should be prepared to get dirty and wet. Women volunteers are asked to wear a modest swimsuit underclothes, as some clothes may be removed during the rescue. The exercise will begin at 10 p.m. on Friday and continue around the clock. If you are interested, call the Guardian Center at 478-224-5700.
Wow.
So if you want to be a victim, join them, the few, the proud.
There you
the
go.
Marines in Perry.
Well, you're either a victim or you're a hero. It's one or the other. But here's a hero, and it's not even human.
Uh-huh.
Here's a dog that was honored for saving a family. And he was a former shelter dog. So he came out of a shelter. A former shelter dog has been honored for saving a new family from a Long Island house fire. Bear, the 150-pound Mastiff mix, was honored Wednesday at a ceremony in Iceland. Officials presented him with a 12-inch dog biscuit in the shape of a key to the town. He ate the attention and treat right up. The town officials say Bear saved Carol Swinson and her 9-year-old grandson DJ during a recent fire in Brentwood. He jumped on Swinson to wake her up. The family had adopted Bear just 2 weeks earlier. He'd been in the shelter for 2 months. Bear also received dog toys to replace the ones he lost in the fire. Town officials say Bear represents other deserving shelter pets still waiting for adoption. There you have it. That's great.
Very good.
That's a great little story right there.
Very good news.
Little dog Blue. Shelter dog. Saved the life of a family. See that?
Mm-hmm.
If dogs can do it, why can't we?
That's true. That's true. Maybe dogs don't have any racism. Man, I ain't messing with him. I ain't messing with him, man. He's an Irish setter. I ain't messing with him. He's a German Shepherd. I'm not messing with him. He's a Cocker Spaniel. You know what he likes. You know, Cocker. You know, yeah, that. You know. See, that's some stuff.
That's great. I love DB. Well, everything is racial. I always say that.
Yes.
Why do they have brown eggs in one carton and white eggs in the other?
Oh no. I guess see, you even find segregation in breakfast.
Yeah. Good morning, Iraq. It's good to have you on the show. Iraq Wildcat is back wilding here on the Morning Roast.
Yes,
anyway,
indeed.
Shaibuki left. I guess he couldn't handle it, huh? England, I guess he couldn't handle the immaturity.
Yeah, that's true.
Good morning. Let's see what Tubi Dude just sent me.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me a story here. I always like the stories that our viewers send us. Tennessee newspaper fires editorial editor for anti-Obama headline. Dun, dun, dun. I'm telling you, folks, this country is slowly, if not fiercely slowly, because it seems like it's speeding up on us. Mm-hmm. The acceleration of politically correct has gotten to the point that it's not even about threats. See, we ban people here for stuff that's like really hateful and can incite and is borderline bullying. Now it's like, I want to read this story. Earlier this week, President Barack Obama visited Chattanooga, Tennessee as part of his PR blitz on the economy. But he was greeted with a headline in the editorial that said, it was called the Chattanooga Times, or the Tennessee Times Free Press. Take your jobs plan and shove it, Mr. President. Your policies have harmed Chattanooga enough. The editorial began, "Welcome to Chattanooga. one of the hundreds of cities throughout this great nation struggling to succeed in spite of your foolish policies that limit job creation, stifle economic growth, and suffocate the entrepreneurial spirit. Forgive us if you are not greeted with the same level of southern hospitality that our great area usually bestows on its distinguished guests. You see, we understand that you are in town to share your umpteenth different job creation plan during your time in office. If it works as well as your other job creation programs, then thanks, but no thanks. We prefer you keep it to yourself. Jim Galloway, writing for the nearby left-leaning Atlanta Journal-Constitution, called the headline "Hostile and Rude." Now, this is coming from a left-leaning, well, apparently that was a step too far for the newspaper's management. In a story published on Thursday, the press announced the firing of the editor, Drew Johnson, and called his headline inappropriate. The headline was inappropriate for this newspaper. It is not the original headline approved for publication. And Johnson violated the normal editing process when he changed the headline. The newspaper's decision to terminate Johnson had nothing to do with the content of the editorial, which criticized the president's job creation ideas in Chattanooga. The Free Press page is often printed editorials critical of the president and his policies. What do you think, Derek?
Boy,
Derek don't know. He's doing something else.
Well, I was saying to you, I am.
I got it.
Okay, good. All I'm saying is, it seems.
The other way because I can't see the IMs on the chat here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Send it the other way.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What
are you able to get it?
CNSA is listening.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, you know,
I'm sure you have an opinion.
Well, Nikhil says he can't be a dictator. A dictator get things done without pushback from Congress. That is a good point. So he can't be. So in order for him to be a dictator, all of them have to be on his side, pretty much.
Yeah.
And because of checks and balances, is you don't see that happening. But I agree.
Hey, somebody just sent me this story about the Obama thing, the Obamacare, but Georgia is not using it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Georgia's not going to use a lot of the Obamacare money. By the way, Call of Booty says, no worries, you'll get a job at Fox now. Yeah.
And you know what? I found out something too, watching Facebook and all these blogs. You got to watch out for bullshit propaganda.
Yeah.
Because people will twist it around. And, when you finally hear the real story, it makes sense. But when you first hear it, you're like, God, that motherfucking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Anytime you see something, you need to research it in multiple places.
The press...
Validate your information. Be credible.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, here's the thing. We like the truth on this show, but the problem is that the press is not always truthful. I mean, they have taken stories right here in Macon, Georgia, and I, in fact, am one of the victims of that, where the story goes one way, but they print something else. And then when I call them back to let them know that they printed it wrong, do you think they go back and even bother to clarify it? Unless, like, 100 people call them up, they won't do that shit. They won't do it. They will not go back and say, we will, we were wrong. They won't do it. And especially if you're not, in their eyes, someone who's legit or somebody who's worthwhile to even notice. They don't give a shit. The press gets it wrong a lot of times, folks. First of all, they do show up. They stand there, they're busy getting their cameras on. And then they, take about 30 minutes of your statement, and meanwhile you're talking to the camera like a documentary, and you wind up with a 2-second freaking clip, if that much. And it's usually like in your ugliest posture. They twist the whole damn story and make you look bad. It's not true. I mean, that's why you hear a lot of these people, like these young girls that were taken by this stupid ass Ariel. They say, oh, well, we want privacy. You know why? because they're already making up stories about Amanda Berry being with Nelly and getting hugged by some dude and say, well, how dare she? She should be in mourning over what happened to her. And no, they twist their freaking story on her. They're trying to victimize her once again, that she was in this Nelly concert. And the guy's kissing her on the neck. What's that all about?
Okay.
You know, I'm just saying. The press can do whatever the hell they want to do for ratings.
Yeah.
They're not trying to get the truth out. A lot of times, all they want is ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nikhil, I got a story just for you. I had no idea that you served particularly served in the Marine Corps. I got a good story for you. I mean, aside from the one from Perry, which is also good, which I didn't make fun of. I mean, it seems to be a really good story about trying to get people ready for in case there was a nuclear attack over in Perry. I have another story for you. This I think you're
is
really
that Amanda Perry goes to Perry?
No, it's not Amanda Perry.
By the way, I thought so too, Michelle. I thought he was a little touchy-feely on her.
Okay.
But, come on. I mean, the poor girl has been freaking
Yeah,
raped by that ugly son of a bitch, Ariel Castro.
Yeah, that and by the media. By getting cameras all in her face and stuff.
I mean, come on.
I didn't know she was that short.
All right, he was a little touchy-feely. Maybe it wasn't... But whatever. I mean, don't go criticizing.
I got a story for you. Hope you like this. Marine helps a boy finish his 5K race, runs with him to finish line. Mr. Kerr says he was just doing what any man would do. Lance Corporal Miles Kerr from the U.S. Marine Corps was nowhere in sight of his fellow Marines when they finished the 5K race at the Venetian Festival in Charlevoix, Michigan this past Saturday. Finally, the 19-year-old Marine emerged from the final stretch with a new partner, 9-year-old Brandon Fuchs, who was separated from his group at some point in the race, and asked Kerr, "Sir, will you please run with me?" And Kerr said yes, he obliged. And Kerr eventually finished the race at 34.53 minutes, 5 seconds behind Fuchs, and the slowest in his age group, according to the Huffington Post. But none of that mattered to Kerr, who told to many of his many new Twitter fans, "I was just doing what any man would do, but thank you." To show their appreciation for Kerr's selfless act, Brandon's parents gave Kerr a $100 gift card to a local restaurant that he graciously accepted. So thank you, Brandon Carr. Thank you for your service, and thank you for helping out a young kid trying to make it through a 5K race. It goes to you, as well as the other Marines who serve. Thank you. If you want to tweet Lance Corporal Kerr, you could just tweet him at Miles underscore Kerr. That's at MYLES underscore KERR. And the Facebook post has garnered over 200 likes and 200,000 likes and 40,000 shares. That picture, by the way, and ended with, "By his unwavering commitment to help those in need, through his ability to inspire others by his unequivocal level of motivation, Lance Corporal Kerr reflected great credit upon himself and was keeping in the highest traditions of the United States Marine Corps."
There you go.
We salute you, Lance Corporal Kerr.
Well, let me just say this. The chatters are talking about John F. Kennedy Jr., who, by the way, I mentioned on the show, I knew. We had a store that I helped my ex-boss build right on in Tribeca. Mm-hmm. John F. Kennedy lived down the block. I didn't even know he was John for about a year. I just knew him as a guy on his rollerblades who always had a bandana on and a t-shirt, shorts, riding up and down. We say hi, good morning. He stopped one day. We talked a little bit. I only found out that he was John when he started going out with that that actress.
Daryl Hannah?
Daryl Hannah. When he started going out with Daryl Hannah. And John was flying the plane that night when he crashed. And so I'm 51 years old, Manny.
Hey, is your
Anyway,
viewer
so-
counter working? Mine says dash. Versus viewers at the bottom? What's yours say?
Anyway, I don't think that he was.
Yeah, mine says dash too, but has 91 followers.
I don't. Well, Manny, you said no, he wasn't. Can you name? Because as far as I know, as how the story went was that he was in fact flying, and that he may have gotten lost. Ran out of fuel. So if you have the story there, Manny, bring it on up. Go Google it, find it, get the facts, put it online, and we'll be happy to put it up and correct ourselves if in fact that's not the case. So, Rocco, your VL's a resident racist again, LOL. Oh well. Okay. Let me see. Sorry, no personal thing. Good amigo. I just brought aboard a meat smoker.
Smoked his first ribs 3 days ago.
Oh man, I wish you could have saved us some.
He's been cooking up until now.
Oh, well.
Man.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
next
letting
time
us
you do
know,
some
ATT.
cook, yeah.
Like, I'm interested.
Yeah, why don't you mail some
How's
of those
that? How
ribs? I
was?
want to check that out myself. I want to.
Nick Al says Rocco is a real combat guy. Show him respect.
Well, it looks like that. I mean, it looks like he has a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder. I mean, could
Thank
you
you,
imagine
Nick Al.
him?
Thank you. I'm glad
I
you
wouldn't
like the
mind
story.
having him in a
story.
foxhole, though. You know, I'm sure that he would stand up. I would think Rocco would be more of a hero than a detriment. But you never know. Could turn on me too. Right? Right, Rocco? I bet you could shoot real well. Yeah. Anyway, what else is in the news, Derek? We got anything else? I got some.
Okay, I hope you get some.
Well, I'll go to my home page over here and see what the hell I can pick out that'll make everybody.
Hopefully, I won't be making some sick. Well, speaking of getting sick, the medical center uses a germ-fighting device, whatever that means. Says getting sick while getting a treatment at a hospital can be a patient's worst nightmare. I'm quite sure.
I've been there.
Yeah, Dr. Jeffrey Stevens says when we have people in isolation in the hospital, we're trying to keep it from transmitting it from an ill person to another ill person.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah. And the True D, that's TRU-D Smart UVC, is what the doctor ordered. This new piece of technology uses powerful ultraviolet lights to eliminate any bacteria, improving upon the old-fashioned way of cleaning or disinfecting patient areas. Dr. Stevens says, even when using the standard cleaning, there are certain organisms that are very difficult to kill. It can maintain on surfaces for weeks or even longer. So this technology allows us to get at more resistant organisms and kill them. According to healthcare experts, the True D has proven effective. We want to provide world-class care, and we want to try and do the best that we can, and these newer technologies are ways that we are trying to do that, says Dr. Stevens.
Yeah.
So
well,
we'll see that.
You know, I know patients that got something called C. diff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horrible, horrible illness that occurs in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that's what happened to me when I was in Emory Hospital getting my prosthetic heart valve put in. And here I am, literally, I have a 5.4 centimeter aneurysm on my aorta. So I'm already past by 0.4 centimeters, whatever the hell that is. I hate that freaking measurement, whatever that is.
Yeah, metric system.
Yeah, metric bullshit, again. Yeah, you wonder how big it is when you use a metric system.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I had a 5.4 aneurysm on my aorta, and I was born with what they call a bicuspid aortic valve, which means that instead of having 3 ventricles, going like this,
mm-hmm.
it only had 2, kind of like a clitoris. Anyway, it spews, it literally pushes out the blood, kind of like a garden hose. And when you squeeze it together, how the water shoots out. That's how your blood shoots out.
Right.
And it created under tension, under my divorce that I went through and all that pressure that I had, moving to a new state, moving, uploading out of New York City after 44 years of being there. I had a lot of stress. So my aneurysm actually went up from 3.0, which it was back in New York. We knew this condition. When I came here, it had developed to 5 and a quarter. And they basically wanted to operate on me right away because they were afraid I was going to drop dead. They had me not getting up. I had to call a nurse and then I got up. Of course, I got up anyway. Who listens to that shit? But while I was in the hospital, I then, before surgery, developed something called C. diff. And it took over a month for me to get healed from that.
Right.
So on top of the 2 weeks that I was already there, an extra month was added. By the time I was done, I stayed in the hospital close to 5 months. Yeah, it was a weird time. By the way, Emory Hospital also served good food. About the only good thing there.
Probably the same as Coliseum. So that's
Yeah. No, I mean...
Well, Megan, not the Coliseum, Medical Center said they're going to have a new menu. Did you get that?
Yeah, Irvin just...
Yeah, we
did
just
that
told the
last
story.
hour.
And by the way, you know what I did? I and I'm not telling the story for anything other than so you know how much I had to take the reins myself to try to heal mentally. After this operation, because you're left, it really feels like you've been hit with a truck. Your body feels like 100 times heavier than it really is. I mean, I'm down to about less than 100 pounds. I was about 98 pounds. I mean, skeleton. So what I decided to do. Thank you, Ed.
Hey, you better taste it and fart it.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of burping, all right. But what I decided to do was get up off the bed, and I still had those 2 little suction cups into my lungs. They were in my lungs and taking the blood out of my lung. And I start walking around, going to other patients' room. And they were all other heart patients. Some of them were on a heart machine, and there was one woman who got a transplant. And I'm going in their rooms and praying with them and trying to keep my mind focused.
Yeah.
And it was like the doctor said it was a miracle that I was even able to walk around so quickly. But it was more about survival and wanting to live. Wanting to make sure that I wasn't, Yeah, you're right, Manny. I appreciate that. I got my little baby brother, Manny, by the way, Manny.
Hey, Manny.
It's funny that I would be the same age as your little brother because my little brother's name is Manny.
Yes.
But anyway, so thank you. Yeah, God is good. He took care of me. And it was funny because here I am in the hospital bed, and of course I'm stir crazy. I had a lot of visits from friends. One time somebody asked me, are you in politics? Are you some kind of a prince? Would you believe that? She said, the waiting room is packed with people come and see you. I felt, all of that felt great. I mean, here I was in a new state.
Yeah.
And most of these people that were in the waiting room weren't even related to me, nor did they know me more than a few months. So it was really cool. All of that helped. And even what I started to realize is that a lot of the doctors, if you notice, those of you who have been in a hospital, they try to treat you a lot better. They try to encourage you. because they realize that by loving you, and that has more to do than the medicine. Actually, the medicine's like freaking torture. They wake your ass up at 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in the morning, taking your temperature and taking your blood pressure. I would tell them, why don't you just let me sleep? You people are trying to make me sicker so you can make me better. There were moments that I had like that, Derek.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Where I felt like they weren't really helping me. They were torturing me.
Yeah,
I had more needle marks than a junkie. They ran out of veins. Yeah, it was a pretty rough time.
Yeah. Good. I can't believe they didn't let you die in this.
You had a hospital visit. That's weren't credited. No.
I just want.
Believe me, they want to see me die before they come and visit.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it's good to have good care. I really appreciate it, and just want to say thank you for. Well, I had another doctor appointment yesterday after I left here. Say thank you to Loki Chiropractic for helping me out. I was
getting paid for that?
A low-key chiropractor? What the hell is that?
Yeah, look.
Like a chiropractor. Oh, don't tell anybody I'm a chiropractor. You got to keep it low-key. I'm sorry.
Well, they did some really good stuff, and I was looking at some of
Did
them.
they walk on your back?
No, they didn't. Though they didn't do the Mr. Bentley from the Jeffersons thing, though.
Well, they do that in India.
Oh yeah.
They really do.
Oh, okay. I'm quite sure they do.
Mostly works.
Anyway.
Walk on your back?
Yeah. No, they got some more sophisticated ways of doing it though. But I did get
They feel you up though, right?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't feel me up. But I did have some cracking. I did hear some cracking which I need because not that many people know that I was in a car accident back in '97. I was just driving home from work. I turned the corner and at Tatnall Square Park and bam, I was in I had to wear a neck brace for like 3 days, which seems minimal now, but back then I thought it was rough because I never thought because I never broken a bone, in my life. So I'm very, very fortunate to not have had any fractures or something. Especially that's like probably one of the worst car accidents I had, and I just had to.
Well, you can't break your bones being a couch potato either.
Yeah, that's true too.
Hey, every freaking show in the book, every show that exists, you're like a Library of Congress for a television show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you
Bye,
mean.
Uncle.
Bye, Uncle. From
Thank
hell.
you. Make sure you say hello to the devil while you're in hell. Say hello to Rocco, too.
Yes.
You got that story I sent you? Remember we were talking about a woman with sperm on their face?
I didn't get into that, but I had another
one about the bird food.
Oh, no. But I have one other one, though. Another that I think you sent me. It says, dog eats paralyzed man's
We covered that.
testicle.
Oh, Greybeard is on. Good morning, Greybeard.
Oh, dang. Man, I
You're way
missed
too
it.
far back.
Man, I want to hear that. That was a good one. That sounded like a really good one.
All right, well, bring on the go. Well, wait a minute. Let's further this chiropractor thing. It seems like we skimmed that.
Uh-huh.
So what happened? What'd they do?
Well, they basically had my head in that little thing, with a face, and then
some Chinese guy on your back.
No, but it wasn't on my back though. But they they just basically just kind of just.
Did you hear a snap?
Yeah, I heard some snaps. I heard some. It was like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Like
no
really.
kidding.
Really, man.
It wasn't Cheerios, was it?
No, it wasn't Cheerios.
That would have been on your heart. Anyway, so they snapped you back into place.
Yeah.
You feel taller?
Yeah, I think so. I feel taller. I definitely.
Yeah, you're walking around.
I definitely don't slouch. That's for sure.
You're gonna look like a typical deputy.
Yeah.
With that swagger on.
Yeah, I guess I have to have good posture if I'm going to be one. So I can't be slouching like this.
Some of them have good posture. Some of them have good.
Girth.
pot belly.
Yeah. That
Anyway,
is true.
let me see. Plastic Canvas is saying she's got osteoporosis.
Mm-hmm.
It gets me in the joint, in the groin area, and it hurts. Oh, good Lord.
Wow.
Man, talk about kicking me in the nuts. Sounds hurts.
Yeah. Well,
I have my neck and back too. Oh, I have to move more slowly. Yeah, well. Actually, there's this new commercial where they're doing that dance move. You ever see that? Really annoying. Like this guy, this heavy-set guy in the park, and start to dance and.
Oh, we're talking about arthritis.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
just breakdancing, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they say the best thing you can do if you have this kind of bone.
Just about arthritis.
Which my mother had, by the way, and I think I'm getting, is to move around.
Yeah. I mean, I love breakdance. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, I love that commercial myself because that, seeing a big fat dude, kind of remind me of the late Fred Berry, aka Rerun from What's Happening. He was that. Matter of fact, I guess during the break I'll probably just get the link get that arthritis commercial where these people are just pop locking and stuff, breakdancing, to getting rid of arthritis. No, they're not twerking. Trust me.
U.S. man says, don't ever get arthritis in your pinor. It really hurts. Yeah, I know, really.
I didn't think you could.
Anyway, let me see. Yurak says it made me think of Fred Sanford. Ooh, what?
Oh, the arthritis commercial? Oh, wait for the big one.
I can't believe we're last leg.
Yeah, when the last leg, then out down the home stretch. Godzilla! Well, what do you know? It's 10 o'clock.
You ever notice Godzilla? It was always this little petite Chinese girl that had the power over Godzilla. You ever notice that?
Yeah. Well, it's made in
It wasn't
Japan.
Raymond Burr.
Yeah, because Godzilla's a homeboy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's from Japan, so I'm just saying. Yeah, so of course you're gonna listen to her, then Raymond Burr. Perry Mason, Ironside.
Raymond Burr was gay.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll be back.
We'll be back at 77 degrees and sunny in Macon with a high of 91.
The latest in the massacre in Hialeah. Today we are learning new information about the shooter and what may have led up to his deadly rampage.
Pedro Vargas killed 6 people before being taken out by a SWAT team. He visited an attorney just hours before the shooting started. CBS 4's Gabby Fleischman is live at that attorney's office in Kendall. And Gabby, what is the lawyer's connection to this story? What did he have to say?
Well, Rhiannon and Brian, we're being told right now that the connection is that Vargas confessed to this attorney 3 days before the shootings, and police are saying that it's legal troubles, fears of those legal troubles that may have built up rage inside of him that led to the shooting rampage.
5 days after a gunman with no criminal record was taken down by SWAT teams at a Hialeah apartment complex, police now have a clearer glimpse into why 42-year-old Pedro Vargas snapped, killed 6 people, and held 2 others hostage.
My greatest fear through all of this was that for randomly he would just say this is the end and he would take those 2 lives.
According to our news partners at the Miami Herald, on the day of the shooting, Vargas called 911 and told the operator he was being followed by someone who was casting spells on him. During the 10 to 12-minute conversation, Vargas's mom, 83-year-old Esperanza Patterson, whom he lived with at the apartment complex, picked up the phone and told the dispatcher to not send officers, saying her son suffered from problems and was only nervous. She said she took care of it by slipping 2 Xanax pills into his food. CBS 4 has now learned that Vargas may have been nervous about a confession he made to Kendall attorney Angel Castillo. 3 days before the shooting rampage, Vargas admitted to Castillo that he sent anonymous email threats to former co-workers at a promotions company he was let go from. Vargas sent an apology letter to them, which reads in part, "I feel I owe you a personal apology for my insensitive comments, disrespectful and deceiving mails. I accept full responsibility for what happened. The main reason reason I believe it is. I was sad to stop seeing you guys, enjoying lunch in your company, and not been able to participate at the new place. Don't believe me, but I am pouring tears right now. According to Castillo, the case was closed, though a family member told the Herald that Vargas was still concerned about losing money as a result of the case. On the day of the shooting, Vargas showed up at Castillo's office, but he wasn't in. Vargas took off and went back to the apartment complex where he took 6 lives.
And police are saying that they believe if Castillo was here in the office, Vargas may have shot him too. And I did just get an email from Castillo minutes ago. He says he doesn't agree with the speculation that Vargas went into his office intending to cause him or anyone else any harm. He said nonetheless, since he doesn't know what Vargas had on his mind last Friday afternoon, he's happy he wasn't in the office at the time. He also told me that the people working at the office, they say Vargas came in with a tucked-in shirt, so there was no indication that he had that 9mm gun with him. We're live in Kendall. Gabby Fleischman, CBS 4 News.
A dog burned to death by a woman with a blowtorch. That woman reportedly then bragged about it on Facebook. Hey everyone, it's David Begnaud. This is Newsbreaker. It's a disgusting crime out of St. Louis. KMOE TV reporting the woman. Cops say committed the...
Yep, I guess it's 10:04.
All right, are we back? Kind of. Are we back?
Armed agents raid an animal shelter for a baby deer.
Tonight, Colleen Henry investigates an operation raising questions about the use of government resources and the state policy that meant a death sentence for the fawn. It was like a SWAT team.
2 weeks ago, Ray Schulze was working in the barn at the Society of St. Francis on the Kenosha, Illinois border when a swarm of squad cars arrived, bearing a search warrant.
9 DNR agents and 4 deputy sheriffs, and they were all armed to the teeth.
The focus of their search, a baby fawn, brought here by an Illinois family worried she'd been abandoned by her mother.
When it made a little noise, it sounded like it was laughing.
Schulze deals mostly with dogs and cats. He videotaped the fawn they named Giggles during the 2 weeks she was here. The DNR began investigating after 2 anonymous calls reporting a baby deer at the no-kill shelter.
The warden drafted an affidavit for the search warrant, complete with aerial photos in which he describes getting himself into a position where he was able to see the fawn going in and out of the barn. Agents told staff they came to seize the deer because Wisconsin law forbids the possession of wildlife.
I said, the deer is scheduled to go to the wildlife reserve the next day.
A wildlife reserve in Illinois, which allows the rehabilitation of deer. Schulze says agents corralled workers near the picnic area, then set out in search of the fawn.
I was thinking in my mind, well, yeah, they're going to take the deer and take it to a wildlife shelter. And then here they come carrying the baby deer over their shoulder like a bag. She was in a body bag. I said, why did you do that? He said, well, it's our policy.
I want to take you back some 30 years now, and some historians will tell you that back then, a nuclear world war had become a scary possibility, and it's now been revealed that Britain even made preparations for the Queen to deliver a speech to her country in the event of war. Take a listen to what we now know. In the words of the former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, never perhaps in the post-war decades was the situation in the world as explosive as in the first half of the 1980s. 1983 was particularly tense as American President Ronald Reagan denounced the Soviet Union as the evil empire. It was a time when Americans crowded around their TVs to watch the film about nuclear war the day after.
But they fired first and we just got our missiles out of the ground in time.
That same year, the United States also moved additional weapons into Europe and began the Star Wars project, a space-based system intended to shoot down enemy missiles.
In peacetime, such a program would enhance the defensive-offensive competition and would not lead to a quieting of hostilities, but rather to their aggravation.
Indeed, tensions were so high that protests against nuclear weapons erupted around the world. And it's now been revealed that in Britain, civil servants penned a speech for Queen Elizabeth in the event of World War III. In the planned broadcast, Her Majesty prepares her country for what she calls the madness of war. The enemy is not the soldier with his rifle, the speech reads, nor even the airman prowling the skies above our cities and towns, but the deadly power of abused technology. Queen Elizabeth also expresses her fears for her own family. My beloved son Andrew is at this moment in action with his unit, and we pray continually for his safety and for the safety of all servicemen and women at home and overseas. The classified speech has only just been released by Britain's National Archive and was written as part of a disaster planning exercise. Fortunately, Her Majesty never had to deliver it.
What do you think about that, Derek?
That was very creepy. Very, very, to say the least.
Well, Yurak said that he's...
friends across the pond, what do y'all think of that?
Well, I was going to say, Yurak just mentioned something about it used to scare the hell out of kids in school.
Mm-hmm.
Was this something they played in school? Because I don't remember. All I remember was we had our fire drills and we had our nuclear drills. You had to go under the table, like that was going to help.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bomb shelter.
Telling your kids
See,
that
we
Santa
don't have
Claus
bomb
exists.
shelters, not that I know of anyway. I remember...
It was a missile crisis.
Yes, just 30 years... Yeah, this was like almost 30 years ago. I remember... Because I remember the movie.
Longer than 30 years ago.
Well, I wasn't even born yet. I'm talking about the Cold War during the 80s Cold War between Reagan and...
Late 50s,
Soviet,
early
yeah.
60s.
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s. But I was talking about that movie that they were referring to the day after that was on ABC, and they had a lot of hype about it. And I remember it played during the Thanksgiving break of '83, about 30 years ago. This upcoming November, and I knew some people were talking about it, even people on Saturday Night Live was talking about it. And Jim Belushi, who was on the show at the time, cast member of the show, John's brother. He was saying, "Ain't no way I'm going to mess up my Thanksgiving watching some movie about nuclear war. I'm going to watch the Bears play the Packers, the football game. I'm not going, yeah." And and truth be told, I didn't want to have my Thanksgiving ruined, but over some nuclear movie threat.
Well,
I mean, I knew it was not saying that it wasn't dangerous, not shirking the idea, but I'm just like, I don't want to have freaking nightmares during my Thanksgiving break.
Well, I mean, look, it started out, I believe it was during the Nixon administration while he was running again. It was the guy that ran against him who...
Kennedy?
No, the old man. Later on. Goldwater. Barry Goldwater.
Okay.
He put out a commercial that had the little girl, remember? Saying
she was counting down.
She was counting down, and next thing the bomb goes off.
Yeah.
So this shit went on. That was a commercial. That was a big controversy. But to put this movie on, and that movie, according to Yerag, was an event at that time. Let me see. That movie was an event to us youths at the time. Why they would play that in school, I don't think they would do that today. Do you think?
Oh,
with
no.
all this PC that's going on in school.
Man, the parents would have a flip, would have a fit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. ATT says no. The nuclear message by the Queen was never released. She never even saw it. What do you mean she never saw it? She never saw what she was going to read. And if a nuke is exploded, hiding from blowing projectiles is a good thing. What about the fallout, nuclear fallout? Not just projectiles. I mean, I think if you hide underground, that would not be a no-brainer, I guess. You wouldn't get hit with so many projectiles. But What about the nuclear winter after that?
Yeah, which would
So-
block the sun, and people would just literally just freeze to death afterwards. Those who survived it, of course.
Yeah, well, let's just say the only nuking that we're going to do on this show is if you continue to racist reigns. That's when we nuke you. Other than that, we don't. Anyway, so
I'll just
I don't know. One nuke does not make a nuclear winter. Well, that's true. But what about if they hit?
Yeah, sure as hell make a cold front. That's for sure.
Now wait a minute. Let me argue that point, because if you're going to hit a place with a nuclear bomb, they're probably going to hit a military site, which may possibly have other nuclear bombs. So one bomb can actually set off God only knows how many other nukes.
But here
You never know.
It may not be a military. It probably might be, say, a civilian area, a heavily dense populated civilian area, like what happened in Hiroshima during World War II. They didn't have any military bases in Hiroshima, and you had 80,000 people killed. Now imagine if you had a place, say, like it don't even Atlanta, like 5 million people, or
Yeah.
New York City, 7, 8, or 9 million people. L.A., 11 million people. You
Macon,
could,
Georgia, quite a few million.
Well,
yeah, 100,000.
let me read what these guys are saying. Sergio St. James says bomb shelters were away.
You just
for
use a
scared
dirty bomb
Americans.
just for that. You could use a dirty bomb for Macon. I mean, shoot, just for 100,000. Shoot, you can put in one of those football stadiums.
Yeah, but you know, I look at it like this.
Matter of fact,
I think people are smart enough that if
Yeah.
they want to go take over somebody's land, don't nuke it first. Go in there, like that movie. You know,
to my Red Dawn.
Red Dawn 2, the one with the North Koreans.
Okay,
coming
the
through
remake
top.
of Red Dawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Red Dawn 2, the Koreans drop it from the sky and all that shit. That's the way you do it.
Mhm.
You don't nuke the place and expect to live there.
Yeah.
For a long
Well,
fucking time.
Let me go back to
Unless
what.
you want to end up with people like us.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mutated
or roaches.
babies.
Or roaches. By the way, Sergio St. James says, bomb shelters are just a way for scared Americans to sleep at night. Fear has been sold to us through the means of marketing solutions for years. Greybeard says, it would be interesting to discuss when a nuke going off would mean to this economy. Exactly. War is money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wind up looking like.
Speaking of which, it may not even have to be like a military base with nuclear war. It could be like a nuclear plant, any place where there's nuclear power or even electricity
You seen that
power.
new show they got now called Under the Dome?
Yeah, Under the Dome.
Yeah, I watched the first two. I haven't watched the rest of it though, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they said, the Mayans said that the war was going to end and all that shit.
Yeah, in 2012. But
When in fact, there is some history.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I'm not going to say fact because we don't know if it's a fact, where Earth's polarization actually reverses every few 100 million years or something. And if the polarization of Earth reverses, we're going to be screwed.
yeah, it's funny
So-
that you mentioned that. People have been saying that some of the reason why the daylight savings time and the changes have been much more earlier because
The Earth shifted.
the Earth shifted, because usually we're on a 23 and a half degree tilt. You know?
I think it happened with that earthquake in Japan.
Oh yeah. Well,
They said that the Earth stopped by a millisecond or some bullshit. The time by a hundredth of a millisecond.
What do you think about the zombie thing though? The zombie apocalypse.
Diaz says
wouldn't be
reverse
surprised.
polarity won't do anything. You don't think so? You don't think it's going to do anything? You don't think
Well,
it's going
I
to
mean,
catapult
the
us
shifting-
into space?
I'm just saying the shifting part. I mean, there's a lot of like the 19 factor. You know, you probably have to put in the 23 factor because
Yeah.
I mean, like Shake for his ills. Pardon me, I'm great proposal.
That looks like somebody in downtown.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's on a Friday. You saying
Yeah.
that this what would be
That's
like?
what downtown looks
what
like.
zombie look like on first Friday or something years from now?
Yeah, ATT says when I take a poop, my world stops for 1 second. That's true.
Yes.
Never thought about
I know.
that. Dropping the kids off at the pool.
Yeah.
Reverse polarity doesn't happen in a week. It takes thousands of years. Well, we'll see. I think we're on that course.
Wouldn't be surprised because normally we would have daylight savings time and going back to regular standard time is usually around, always hit on the weekend during Easter and Halloween. And usually around by that same time, that's exactly around the same time that's the Georgia-Florida game always starts. I always that's how I remembered it. Like spring forward, fall back, it's always fall on Easter weekend and then on the Halloween weekend. It just kind of coincidental, like the 19 factor, 23 factor, because we're on the Earth is on a 23-degree axis tilt. That's why we have 4 seasons, and what's 19 and 4 equals what? 23.
Wow. 23
degrees above the equator, we have the Tropic of what? The Tropic of Cancer. 23 degrees south of the equator, we have the Tropic of Capricorn. The 23rd factor, 23rd Psalm. See?
Well, thank you, DS, for that.
23 factor.
Little link there. Here we're showing the Earth with big ears.
Yeah.
Looks like Obama's head.
Michael Jordan's jersey number 23. See?
But yeah. Let me see. Michelle says, well, let's go. It says, Sergio says they got shotgun shells made for killing zombies as well. That shit is funny that people buy this shit and it says it's meant to be used on humans. Wow. Sergio says, ATT, I actually have a few boxes called zombie ammo. This is great varmint ammo for rabbits and wolves here. Well, whatever. I think our bodies would get so messed up, we will probably...
That is an effed up ass picture of the president, man. That's some creepy shit.
We'll probably have to balance the stuff again
creepy
because
as hell.
we're used to moving in one direction.
My Facebook page wouldn't even allow me to actually to click on it. That's how messed up it was. Like, sheesh. Yeah, yeah, please delete that. Something.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Who cares? Anyway, he actually looked like Obama, didn't he?
Yeah.
Derek, you tried to throw sports in a magnetic field of Earth. LOL. Exactly. Get us all discombobulated.
Well, I'm just saying, like 23, like, there's 23 degrees above the equator is the Tropic of Cancer. 23 degrees below the equator is the Tropic of Capricorn. And how many seasons are in a month? Seasons in a year? 4. And then you add the 19 factor, 19 and 4 equals 23. And then I said, Michael Jordan's jersey number is what? Number 23. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well.
There's a coincidence.
And we're going to go watch 42 today.
Yes, at the Macon Luther Williams
Wasn't there a movie, it was a downfall, obviously, of Jim Carrey. 23. Remember that movie?
What?
About number 23, something 23. Who remembers that movie? It's so memorable, you can't even remember. Bullshit. Anyway, numerology. Anthony believes in numerology.
Yeah.
If nothing else, he doesn't believe in anything else, but he believes in numerology.
Yeah, go figure.
Go figure. You guys have a lot of talking about the Earth. I bet you guys recycle. Actually, I used to enjoy recycling in New York. Mm-hmm. It was fun. And here, you just throw all your shit in one bag and throw it out. They don't care.
Yeah, you're definitely...
In New York, you actually made money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recycle. It's a big waste of time. It all goes to the same place anyhow.
Yep, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Let's see, I was trying to find something.
Speaking of recycling, do we have a story we can recycle?
Well, yeah, I have some news.
I have the celebrity death pool. We have over 63 people that are dead already.
Yes, the recent person who just died was Eileen Brennan.
Yeah.
Who went from musical comedy on Broadway to ringing out laughs and memorable characters such as Captain Lewis in the movie, as well as a TV series, Private Benjamin. She has died. She just turned 80. Speaking of which...
Speaking of death, we're going to talk about life.
Yes.
We're going to talk about where these people...
I'll get back to Eileen after this.
Some of them. have passed on to another way of being. And the title of this morning, our daily bread on the morning roast, is Pass It On by Randy Kilgore for August 2nd, 2013. I've noticed through the years that those who have suffered are quick to comfort others' sufferers. When a young couple suffers a loss of a child, another couple who also lost a child in the past asks if they can help. If a couple loses their main income, almost immediately other couples step forward to offer their aid, remembering their own journey through foreclosure years earlier. Again and again, we see the body of Christ supporting and encouraging one another. These Christians have learned that they can use the trials they've been through to reach out to others going through similar difficulties. Have you been sick? Lost a loved one? Been in prison? Unfairly treated? In all our trials, God promises to bring something good even out of our darkest moments. James chapter 1, verses 2 to 4. One key way this takes place is when we share the comfort He offered us with those who are now going through trial. As Paul points out in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 to 7, we are comforted by the Savior who knows our suffering, and we honor Him when He passes His comfort on to still others. May we never leave someone to suffer alone. I know, and we know, the trial another is on, God would help us to guide that person to His presence and surest comfort of all. Dear Lord, help us to step forward when others around us are suffering trials similar to what we've been through. Enable us to be comfort as You have been to us in the past. God comforts us so that we can comfort others. 2 Corinthians chapter 1 is your Bible read. As you are partakers of the suffering, so also will you partake in the consolation.
2 Corinthians, 1st chapter, 7th verse.
There we go. There you have it. Thank you. Comfort others. Pass it on. Pay it forward. That was a good movie, though. Pay it forward.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Bless you, I think. Whoever passed gas.
Thank you, Plastic. Appreciate that.
Yes, I was going referring back to other news. There was a person, there was a celebrity who recently passed away this week. Eileen Brennan, who had memorable Meanie characters such as Mrs. Peacock in the 1985 movie Clue, and also played the role of the evil Captain Lewis in the movie Private Benjamin opposite Goldie Hawn, and as well as played the same character in the TV version of Private Benjamin.
Yeah.
She died last Sunday in her home at Burbank. She was suffering a long battle with bladder cancer. She was 80 years old. She got a big role on the New York stage in Little Mary Sunshine, a musical that won her the 1960 Obie Award, Off-Broadway Award for Best Actress, along with her excellent singing voice. According to New York Times, her performance was radiant and comic.
This is Eileen Brennan, right?
Yes, Eileen Brennan.
She was on Private Benjamin. She played the
gruff Army Captain Doreen Lewis in 1980's Private Benjamin. She played in the TV show as well as playing from the original 1980 movie that was played again opposite Goldie Hawn, who played Private Benjamin. The TV version of it was played by Lorna Patterson, who was also in the movie Airplane with Barbara Billingsley. Private Benjamin gave her a supporting actress nomination for an Oscar, as well as winning an Emmy for her TV version of Private Benjamin for the television version. So she won an Emmy and was nominated for an Oscar for that same role. And she was nominated 6 other times for guest roles such as shows as Newhart, 30-something, Taxi, the sitcom, and Will and Grace. She was survived by her 2 sons, in 1982, she was also in a really powerful car accident, getting her leg smashed. But she went through rehab in 1992, and she'll be.
Pardon me.
She'll be missed.
No, the X-rated version was Benjamin's Privates.
Oh.
There was an X-rated version.
Oh, really?
Benjamin's
I did not know that. Learn something new every day. We have a call.
I wonder who these people are. Hello? Hey, Coffee Guy. Coffee Guy is right on. This is Anthony's brother,
I'm on the road
Coffee
in
Guy.
Atlanta, and I just remembered the number. I suck goats, so I'm just calling in. I have no idea if you are live or not.
Yes, we are
We
live.
are live.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say Terminator X. Kidding.
Terminator exit. Yep, Public Enemy.
What's going on, baby? Where you been?
The mattress business is popping right now, so it's just like 3 weeks of madness, and then I go back to the doldrums of waiting for the next season. But yeah, just figured I'd give you a call. You know how it is when business is good, you feel good. You want to talk to your friends, and you guys have been in the back of my mind. Just haven't had an opportunity to log on here.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, we do miss you. You know, your brother isn't here every day anymore, so we don't get a sense of that closeness that we really do have.
Yes.
Right.
You know.
Well, it sounds like you guys are sticking to your guns. You're there at the show day in and day out. The viewership seems to have grown quite a bit, and you guys are doing a heck of a job. And just keep the faith, man. Good things will come to pass.
Thank you, brother. Thank
you very
you.
much.
And let me just say, you sound like Anthony, but in a calm state. It's freaking amazing how you brothers really do sound alike.
I'm the voice of reason, but hey,
Yeah.
you gotta take the good with the bad, and he's got good too. So
No, it's not Aunt Michelle. This is his brother, older brother, known as the Coffee Guy, Todd. Yeah, and he comes on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it is cool. It is cool that he thinks about us, that he calls us, and that he is, he'll always be a part of this family, no matter what.
right.
You know.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. I'm in Atlanta traffic, and I wanna focus on traffic, not trying to talk on a cell phone.
Yes,
I
please.
do appreciate you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and we will connect soon again. And,
Good.
God bless.
Great.
I'm looking forward to that. You got to come back on the show, by the way.
Definitely.
I'll do it. We'll do.
Okay, buddy.
Okay.
God bless you, brother.
Yeah, still
All
keep
right.
staying tuned
Thanks,
to us.
Thanks, Derek. Thanks, Ed. And thank you, Irv.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it. Everybody says goodbye, by the way.
I didn't catch that.
I said everyone on the show, Plastic Canvas, Michelle, all these guys, they're all saying goodbye.
Okay. All right.
And thank you.
Bye.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
I'm making a new rule here, okay? Because we got people getting muted. From now on, if you're gonna come in here, watch yourself. If you're not gonna be muted anymore, be banned for the day.
Right.
I'm tired of seeing. I don't know why these people can't get along. Y'all gonna be banned for the day from now on, starting Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't start the crap.
Yeah, Graybeard. Is Graybeard still on? Yeah. He said what he had to say and he left.
Okay.
Oh, well. What are you
Well,
gonna do?
in some other
He's
news.
mad. He's mad because we have modded him.
Oh, I had a lot of people I had modded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he became one of the people that got unmodded. Nothing personal.
Yeah. Well, just as you know, this.
I don't need a bazillion mods.
Yeah, as you know, this. Well, it's 10:30. Go ahead and get into the juicy stuff. Get into sports.
Yeah, let's
As
get
you
into
know-
sports.
As you know, the movie 42 is out in theaters. Well, out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
And and Blu-ray, and it's going to be playing over at the Luther Williams Field later tonight. Luther Williams Field is going to be, which is located in Central City Park near downtown Macon. So if you're somewhere in the Macon or Bibb County surrounding area, come on, check it out over at Central City Park near Luther Williams Field near Central City Park, and check it out. Check out and see the movie where and exactly in the place where it was actually filmed, or parts of it anyway, and have a wonderful time.
By the way, Nikhil says Derek never passes the ball.
Never passes the ball.
I guess
what, I'm Kobe?
That I never do sports. You know why? Because I'm not a sports fanatic. Really.
Wow.
Anyway, the only sport I like to see is
background sounds for sports.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope it's not one. I hope it's not the snoring.
Yeah.
But anyway, in other sports news, Alabama. I guess Rick Knight would be really happy about this. Alabama is number 1 in the USA Today preseason's coaches poll for NCAA college football. The Crimson Tide was an overwhelming choice, receiving 58 of the 62 first place votes. This was the defending national championship. Ohio State was in second, is number 2 on the list, and received 3 first place votes. University of Oregon is ranked number 3 right now. Stanford is number 4. My alma mater, UGA, Go Bulldogs, is number 5, ranked number 5. Number 6, Texas A&M has received the other first place vote. So you have at least 2 SEC teams in the top 5. The other half will be South Carolina is number 7, Florida is number 10, number 8 Clemson, number 9 Louisville round out the top 10. Number 12 LSU gives the SEC 6 teams in the top 25. And
that's your favorite team, Derek, right?
What? LSU? No,
yeah.
UGA.
Oh, UGA.
Yeah, because I went there. Yeah,
also. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Notre Dame, which lost the national championship to Alabama 42-14 last season, is in number 11. So I guess we'll see what happens. I hope Georgia will be a little bit closer in getting national championship. I hope they're more successful this upcoming season. In other sports, for baseball, I have some scores. Cleveland beats the Chicago White Sox 6-1. The Mets blanked the Mets. The Miami Marlins beat the Mets 3-0.
Oh God!
Kansas City Royals beat the Minnesota Twins 7-2. Texas beats Arizona 7-1. St. Louis Cardinals just blanks the Pittsburgh Pirates 13-0. Looks like a football game than a baseball game. Baltimore beat Houston 6-3. Wow, jeez. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. And also, what was it? I'm trying to get other sports. Houston. Oh yeah, Atlanta. Atlanta beats Colorado 11-2. They swept them in their series. Atlanta beat them at home finally, which was a very good job for Atlanta. They keep to stay on top of the NL East in their division, number 1 in their division, which is a good thing. Also, in other sports, I have something talking about.
God,
jeez,
damn!
I thought A-Rod had to be suspended for substance abuse.
Who would want to look like that? They're a freaking monster.
Unless they're trying to get unless they're auditioning for the Hulk, I guess.
God forbid he should scrape up against a piece of broken glass and bleed to death.
Yeah.
Gee.
Also, I have some other news. Miss Sarah Thomas, who was working at St. Man, I swear, if we weren't working, man, I said, man, you would be dead to me if you put that post on Facebook. I swear.
You know what? Gives me an idea. Anyway, go ahead.
But the Saints, Sarah Thomas, who's been coaching, who's been a referee for football, for college football and high school football, as well as middle school football. She has a chance of becoming the first permanent female full-time NFL ref. Sarah Thomas is a wife and mother of 3 from Mississippi who's in position to become the first female official in the NFL. She says, I don't feel a weight on my shoulders. It's exciting, Ms. Thomas said. I didn't set out to be the first woman or a pioneer, but I will embrace it if that does happen. And she has been at New Orleans working at the Saints practices on Thursday and Friday. She's been refereeing, officiating the preseason football games as well as Saturday's scrimmage as part of the NFL's officiating development program, I guess, where they train the NFL referees and such. She's a finalist to get one of the next full-time openings of an NFL officiating crew, most likely in the 2014 season for next year. She says that the guys that I officiate with, it's a profession. They understand that we're all there for the same goal, to get through the game, go unnoticed, and be uneventful. So I don't ever feel like I'm isolated or anything. I've been welcomed and part of the group. And the former University of Mobile basketball player, so she played college ball. She became the first female to officiate a Division I-A high school football game in Mississippi back in 1996.
Wow.
So she was also officiated the Senior Bowl twice, a college bowl game, and worked in the United Football League, and now a Conference USA line judge. She's off the field. Thomas works as a pharmaceutical representative. She and her husband Brian have 2 boys, ages 12 and 9, as well as a 7-month baby girl. So good job to Sarah Thomas, and hope you do well in the NFL.
Wow.
As a referee.
There you have it.
Oh yeah, time for excitement. Snap it to a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
You know why he's acting on that picture? Because of that Indian girl that's standing next to him.
Well, that's Miss Elizabeth from WWE, who was his former ex-wife at the time. And that's pretty much all I have with sports right now.
Nothing on hockey yet, right? And that's not up yet.
You got a few words for us today?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, yes. I got a few words. Speaking of few words, you heard about Simon Cowell's going to be a dad, right?
Really?
Yes.
He'll probably be able to breastfeed it with those...
man boobs, yeah.
Titties that he's got.
Yes. The music mogul and snarky British judge, who's age 53, is expecting a baby with New York socialite Lauren Silverman, according to U.S. Weekly and numerous other reports, all citing unnamed sources. An assistant to Cowell's UK rep told People magazine, "This is a very sensitive issue and all media inquiries are being dealt with by his U.S. attorney." Fox reps and Cowell's record company rep have not responded to U.S.
That's supposed to be Simon Cowell?
A request for
comment.
comment.
Like a really queer Simon Cowell.
Well, actually his publicist. I'm just saying, an assistant. Silverman is 36, the potential baby of his mother. Expecting mother is said to be 10 weeks along. She's also said to be married to Cowell's close friend Andrew Silverman, a New York real estate mogul. But they've been unhappily married for a while, and the divorce is in the works, according to the Buzz. So, but Cowell
Whose baby is it?
Yes, is it the
Who's the baby daddy?
Yeah, who is the baby daddy? Is the ex-wife? I mean, is it the ex-husband or is it Simon?
Well, who knows? Anyway, they're saying they're gonna put you on Craigslist.
Whoa.
They said.
You got good taste.
Well, yeah, they said, Derek, I'm gonna put you on Craigslist in Georgia. Sexy male looking for a sexy female for a long-term relationship. And of course, Rocco says, I'm gonna put you on Neurotic Gun Nut Wants Younger Wife.
Wow.
Yeah, and if I had a gun, I'd probably put myself out of misery. Nick Cowell.
Well,
by throwing the gun away. I don't use guns. I don't like guns.
I'm not spreading the word.
I don't even like looking at them. They're annoying.
What, guns?
Yeah, every time somebody tries to show me their gun, it's like
they're trying to shoot off
something. Zip that chip back in. Oh, I'm talking about the gun now. Zip her up.
Yes. Stop blasting away. Put that thing away.
Yeah, don't shoot your whole load at once.
Yes.
Anyway.
And speaking of getting a load of this, words, with you as Ed was talking about speaking some words. Here's our word for the day from Word Origins by John Ato. The word is
get.
G-E-T.
Get. You get it?
We got it. Now, one of the most pervasive of English words has only been in the language for the comparatively short period of 800 years. It was borrowed from Old Norse geta, G-E-T-A, although related 100% English get, G-E-T, which occurs in beget and forget, dates back to Old English times. Both come via a prehistoric Germanic getan, G-E-T-A-N, from Indo-European ged, G-E-G-H-E-D, which signifies seas. Guess is ultimately from the same source. Gotten is often quoted as an American survival of a primeval past participle, since abandoned by British English, but in fact the original past participle of got was getten, G-E-T-T-E-N, which lasted into the 16th century. Gotten was a Middle English innovation based on such models as spoken and stolen. Got originated as an abbreviated form of gotten. Got originated as an abbreviated form of gotten, which in due course came to be used on both sides of the Atlantic as the past tense verb replacing the original gat. I guess now gat is part of shortened for Gatling gun or slang for pistol, but that's a whole other story right there. But that's what you have right now. Get. Our word for today. Our word
You smell that? It smells like God farted.
Wow. Yeah, that's a real one. That's definitely no stunts funk right there. That's some nasty stuff.
Okay, here we go. Look, once again, people, we're going to have to really reconsider this. We cannot be banning people. Remember, banning is not unless it is Ed or I. That's it. And it can't be because he's insulting you or somebody else. It is blatant hate, racist speech. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, Monday, there's not going to be any more muting. Just let one of us know, and they'll be banned for the day.
Yeah.
But if we start getting too many people banned, I may just leave them banned then. I mean, we're trying to have a good time. We're trying to give you guys entertaining, give you some news, interact with you. So, but you don't need to be cool and cut the shit.
Yes. Speaking of cutting, who cut the cheese? Jeez, man, that is some nasty.
Oh, really?
Funk.
He bans everybody, ATT? You know, anyway, let's try not to do that, folks, because
let's just fucking get along and get
let's
on
just
with
get
it.
along. I mean, here's the thing. When a lot of times, this is exactly what they want. We feed into what they want, which is they try to take over the show by saying all these remarks that kind of borderline hate speech. But as long as they're not being, overtly, blatantly racist, we gotta try to teach them.
Yeah, tone it down to a low roar.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not what's called for. Well, whatever. Why did you make so many people moderators?
So many people moderators.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have to look into that.
I
But
guess
we have to know.
We thought we were going to behave.
Besides us, that's it. I only got like 6 months.
Yeah, well, I got banned the other day for saying Tom and Jerry on another channel.
All right, let's just get back with the show.
All right, well, guys, please,
Yes,
calm the
please,
hell
dude.
down, man.
Yeah.
This is like this is more like a baby show than a daily show.
10:46.
Y'all go stand in the motherfucking corner.
Yes.
Derek, go.
Thank you. It's 79 degrees outside in Macon, Georgia. 79 is sunny with a high of 90 and a low of 73. It's going to be raining, yes, as
Good morning,
always.
Jess.
Just not as much. Definitely. I'm glad you opened up the window because that funk was just really just.
Yeah, my dog. What are you gonna
do? Yeah.
Anyway, so let me see what else, Derek. We can.
Well, we have another one. Who said it first? Who said this quote first? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, or gets the oil.
Yeah.
With various wordings, the image has been around for several hundred years. But in 1870, American poet Henry Wheeler Shaw, who wrote as Josh Billings, in his poem The Kicker, neatly nailed the image in the form we now know it. It says, I hate to be a kicker, I always long for peace, but the wheel that does the squeaking is the one that gets the grease. And he made it rhyme too. How about that? It's Josh Billings, America's first rapper. Yes, 1870. But speaking of which, there was one story. I guess it was still. I think I found it. And it was the story where it says, "Would you pay $180 to have bird poop smeared onto your face?" It says plenty of New Yorkers are doing just that. Shizuka Skincare Salon in Manhattan says about 100 men and women a month opt for this geisha facial poop treatment. Somehow it is made up of imported Asian nightingale excrement mixed with rice bran. Now, I don't know about all that.
My brother's on. Hey, hello, I have a man pup.
Yeah, you have that picture, don't you, Ed? Yeah, it's about some people. Yeah, I read it. It says, it's about 100. You pay $180 to have bird poop smeared on your face, and they're doing that in Manhattan.
I attached the clip, the article with the picture. Click on the picture.
By the way, Cocknose, I do appreciate that Rocco is a war veteran, but here's a problem. First of all, the Army is no longer a draft. It is a volunteer. The fact that they volunteer, it's on him to become a soldier. And I appreciate their service. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying, let's not forget that they volunteer to do this. So, it's like anything else. You choose something and you get just do, you get your credit where credit's due. But it doesn't mean that because he was a war veteran that he can then come over and say whatever the hell he wants and all that. Yeah, he fought for the country, but he decided to do that. I didn't ask him to do it. I'm glad that he did it, but, so what?
He said he was drafted. He didn't volunteer. He was drafted.
Yeah, he was drafted? And what war was he in?
Vietnam.
Well,
there's your picture for bird poop.
Rocco. Okay, yeah. I was drafted. Well, take what back? That you were drafted? You could have figured it out like Bush did. Find a way to get the hell out of it.
Well, not exactly. Bush was rich. Yeah. Rich had a rich family. He could do that when you had that money.
Yeah, he was forced. Please.
Man, that is
you could have stood up with like everybody else during that time in the 60s where you were anti-war. You could have done that. You weren't an enemy. You went right for it. Yeah, you love the idea of killing anybody at that point. Yeah.
But
that's all I'm saying.
That's kind of,
No, I can't be wrong because there's always two sides to every coin. Everybody likes to bring up one-sided issues. I'm bringing up the other side. So what? You have your side. You were drafted. Okay, well, I'm sure you went in there headlong with your gun. You loved the idea. Who knows? I don't know what was going through your head. But all I know is that there were people during that time that decided that they weren't going to fight because they knew ahead of time that they were in a stupid-ass war to begin with. They knew from the time of Kennedy, even before the 70s, when people were still being drafted during the Nixon era, LBJ and all that shit. People knew it was a stupid-ass war. They still joined it. Some were drafted, some decided not to. That's what happened. Some people decided they're not going to go. They knew it was ridiculous. That's what happens. You lose sight of what's right and wrong. I don't think the war in Iraq was such a big deal. I think we were stuck in another quagmire, in another war, and how much better off are we, really? Think about it. That's what America's always done. It's put us in wars that we shouldn't be a part of. They attacked us on 9/11, true, but we didn't even go after Al-Qaeda. We went after Saddam Hussein. And of course the soldiers, God bless them, they went. They went to that. They did how many calls of duty? 15 of them. So some of them. God only knows.
Okay. Well, getting back to the show. Of course, some congressmen, some people in Congress, particularly Republican congressmen, were saying that we're threatening if Snowden gets asylum from Russia, they think that the United States should pull out and just boycott the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympic Games is going to be in Sochi, Russia.
Yeah.
Now here's another thing that they may prove it not from politicians, but from a whole other story, whole other point of view. In Los Angeles, an international backlash against Russia's recently enacted anti-gay laws was gathering momentum yesterday. A number of bars worldwide stopped serving Russian vodka to protest the country's stance on homosexuality.
Yeah.
It says in West Hollywood, bar owners and patrons staged vodka dumping protests. The anger was directed at a new Russian law which bars the public discussion of gay rights and relationships anywhere children might hear. As Russia prepares to host the 2014 Winter Olympics in the resort city of Sochi, which will be this upcoming February, there was also great concern about what legislation will mean for gay athletes and visitors to the country. While the International Olympic Committee has said Russia will not enforce the law during the Sochi Games, the country's sports minister said the opposite Thursday, asserting foreign nationals will be subject to the law. So what do you think? The stuff with Snowden and stuff with the pouring out the vodka, you think it's going to cripple the Winter Olympic Games over in Russia?
It's not going to do anything. And secondly, I don't think Russia's going to go there because it's going to really pour a lot of money out of their economy. And right now, Putin is looking for money.
Yeah.
He's looking for investment. That's why he's doing the Snowden shit, allowing Snowden to stay there, even though, I'm kind of glad that Snowden stood there.
Yeah.
Because coming here, he's going to wind up in jail forever. So, I'm with that. But they're not going to do anything. Believe me. And half of these Olympians are gay anyway.
Or at least
a third.
Well, I say a fourth.
Yeah.
The other 3/4 are just maybe, another fourth probably on steroids and,
Yeah. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I have to agree with ATT, whoever said to me, they pouring vodka, give it to me. Yeah. I don't even drink either. I said, save me a bottle,
Yeah, really. I mean,
like,
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't think that's going to do anything, pouring out liquor on the street. You're just wasting a good bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
Not going to do anything.
Yeah.
They'll come with a hose and hose it down.
You're right. You're so right.
It's not going to do anything. But you can make it with potatoes.
Yeah. So you get a bunch of potatoes, half of them you can make vodka, the other half you can make some fries with it. Have vodka and fries. There you go.
Yeah. What do they call them? Freedom fries?
Yeah. I'll be freaking fries.
Yeah, that's right. World famous. You're right. It's about the Olympics, not about running around having sex with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Fever says, stop buying the vodka. Pouring it out, you already bought, isn't showing anything. You're right. You already spent the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Booze in the streams and then ocean.
Just making
shots.
Just making vodka company people rich. Millionaires, just pouring, you buying it, then you pour it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't start talking about each and every one they were pouring out. And this is,
Yeah. Give me the vodka, yeah, give me, I don't even drink, and I'm like, hey, I might want to keep that for a special occasion or something.
Yeah, even Rocco says that. Give me the damn vodka. I'll drink it. I know.
And Nick Cal says sometimes sex can be like an Olympic event. Why do you think you have so many of these Olympic athletes, hanging out with each other during the opening and the closing ceremonies? They can't wait. They can't wait for their events to be finished because they see somebody they like, whether they're from another country or whatever.
Yeah.
They just knocking boots all over the place. I mean, they fall in love with each other. They well put together. They healthy and they top of their game. They see you healthy, top of their game. Get together, I'm just saying. Like Bart Carter. He's a gymnast. He fell in love with Nadia Comaneci. They're both married and got a kid. They're both top of their game.
You think it was the last name?
Maybe. Oh yeah, we know
Kamenichi?
it's 3 minutes. Kamenichi.
3 minute warning.
Yeah, just I know.
Yeah, there is a lot of banging going on in the Olympics, of course. There are all these kids. They're all sexually active.
All sexually active, all in their athletic.
All their hot bodies sweating all day and working out, watching each other. You ever go to the gym? I mean, half of those guys are horny as hell.
Yeah.
Why don't go to gym? Never know. Get some Sandusky guy in there. That's all we need.
True.
By the way, potatoes. Now, you said something about potatoes and vodka.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why they call their thing? I swear to you, this is a serious question. Do you think that's why they call their spaceship Sputnik? Because they're so into that vodka mentality?
Not Sputnik. Sputnik.
Sputnik. I don't think it had nothing to do with potatoes. I don't think it had nothing to do with potatoes. I don't know about that.
Exactly. Yes, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Wild Olympic Circus sex. Yes. Sputnik. Yeah. Sputnik.
That's Sputnik.
I mean, think about it. The correlation Russians, do you ever think that they're always angry because they just drink too much vodka? Because vodka makes me into an angry drunk. Gin actually calms me down, but vodka makes me more aggressive, an angry drunk.
That you want to just bomb something, you just turn into Stalin or Khrushchev.
Yeah.
We shall crush you for Mother Russia.
Oh, I'll turn into Gorbachev with that big stain on his head.
Or
turn
into the Russian bear, Ivan Koloff. When they had that, when his nephew Nikita Koloff had that match against Ric Flair.
Yeah.
It is over for you, Ric Flair, because I know that my nephew Nikita Koloff will destroy you, and he'll be new world champion.
You say what you want, Ivan Koloff. You can't stop me. To beat a man, you gotta beat the man.
See, that's what
and
happens.
Nikita Koloff, you are not that man. Woo!
There you go. That is me. That's what happens to me. That's what happens to me when I drink too much vodka.
He becomes Hasidic.
I become very Hasidic.
Yes.
Hasidic.
It's 11. Look at the time. It's 11 o'clock, and just want to say thank you to all our guests here: DS Photo Guy, Michelle, Stacy, Yurik Wildcat, Plastic Canvas, Guest 127,
Norchak. Where the hell are you?
Acid
just got
DJ, ATT, Edward Mampa. Is this real? Just 13, 1955, Johnny Fever, Leonidas, Lord of Lycans, Mackinac, Nordschnack. It's nice to see if you come in early in the show.
He says do it in the voice of Marvin.
Marvin who?
Marvin, that cartoon character, Marvin the Space Kid.
Marvin, okay. Well, welcome, thank you, all our guests, remainder of our guests, Nickel 30,000, Rocco, Smell My Finger,
the world's famous Usman, Bamboo for You 1, Cocknose, Firefighter, and Netstock, and thank you, Coffee Guy, for your wonderful and splendid phone call this morning today. You made our very wonderful show even more wonderful as always.
That turned from Marvin to who?
Marvin the Marvin.
Sounds like Marvin.
It's supposed to be a kaboom.
Oh, there it is.
You're making me very angry. Anyway, it's 11:01 right now. I hope you have a great weekend. Those who are in the Macon, Georgia area, please be... Yes.
Do it in Popeye, he says.
Please be sure to watch 42 at the Luther Williams Field in downtown Macon, Georgia, and in Central State Park.
Popeye. Remember Olive Oil, her first one?
Popeye.
Wow, gee, people are going to think I've got like multi-personalities, like I'm Sybil.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
It's 79 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia. Don't forget your umbrella. It's going to be a great weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Until next time, until Monday, on behalf of Irv and Ed and myself, this is DB saying, can you smell what the roast is brewing?
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
See you Monday.
See you Monday. Hopefully this place will be a little more This is freaking unbelievable.